Alrighty, hope you guys are doing well. It's been a long time since I've had a live stream, but we're going to have some Age of Empires 4 content, some casted games, and it's going to be live. You guys may have seen some of my videos here and there, thereabouts, being posted. Casting games for the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy, just general ladder games, but we've got a special series coming up soon, and it's going to be bee watching. So I hope you guys have got your binoculars out. We're going to be looking at 3DB and his gameplay, because of course, as you probably will know, guys, if you've been following Age of Empires 4 on the scene, 3DB has been banned from the Red Bull Wololo Legacy tournament, the massive LAN tournament in Castle Heidelberg, Germany, with a massive prize pool. And so he's actually now going to be streaming his live games on the Rank Ladder, and I'm going to be casting them. I'm actually really interested to see this, because we don't get to see that much of 3DB at all, really, apart from during the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy, which you can't actually play in anymore. So it will be fun to kind of cast some games live with you guys. And I hope you guys are all doing well. Hello, Morley Games. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing all right. And I'm excited about this, because Afrasiab, we've got two players here. We've got B and then Afrasiab. Afrasiab is actually Casva, so it's one of the top players in Age of Empires 4. And let's just see how B does against these players, these top players. We're going to be following him this afternoon. Watching from Mallorca. Morley Games is watching from Mallorca, so wow, that's pretty cool. Hopefully it's quite nice and warm there. It's a bit gloomy here in the UK. It It is what it is. You know all about that, Morley. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, do let me know where you guys are watching from. And if you're watching the VOD of this behind, like after the stream has ended, welcome, welcome, and hopefully you enjoy the game. So let's get the ball rolling and let's get cracking, shall we? All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another casted game. This is going to be the first video of a series. We're going to be calling it B Watching because we're going to be watching 3DB and his ranked ladder climb. We've got 3DB playing in purple in the southeast corner of the map as the Abbasid dynasty, and his opponent today will be Afrasiab, who's actually Kasva in the northwest in green, playing as the Mongols. The map being Lipany, it should be an interesting matchup. The Mongols can be very aggressive early on. The Abbasid dynasty, known for their two-town centre booming, and essentially can pump out those villages and pump out that feudal age army, so they're no joke, the Abbasid dynasty, in the early stages of the game. Of course, having access to the fresh foodstuffs technology from the House of Wisdom means they get 50% off of their villages. That's incredibly cheap, and it means they can funnel that food into military units. The Mongols, on the other hand, do get a bit of a boost in the early game, able to double produce from the Ovu. Will we see an outpost rush? It's a bit tricky because things have slightly changed for the Mongols in the recent patch for Age of Empires 4, and that is because of the case that they actually have a Gur to spawn alongside their town centre. And that offers this little bit of flexibility. It enables them to have villagers here go to the gold mine nice and early. So it looks like Kasva's actually going for a feudal age play here, and maybe looking to put on some pressure in the feudal age. Oh, I see. There's the House of Wisdom going up right now. It will be most likely the economic wing be chosen. Morley Games says in the chat, it's a wee bit sunburnt. Morley Games has been out and about in Mallorca, so hopefully he's not too sunburnt. Enjoying the sun, I suspect. Oh, that's a lot of sheep coming in here for B. That'll be useful for him to be able to draw upon those resources if he so needs to, because the Mongols can be aggressive early, and so it can be very helpful to have the sheep underneath your town centre if, for instance, you've pushed off the berries. Speaking of which, are very far forward, and so that could be a bit risky. We'll have a look at this now because we do see the economic wing being chosen there by 3DB. On the other hand, Kasva a little bit further away from that feudal age. Does get enough decent number of sheep there for him as well, so he's looking to use that Khan quite nicely. Let's take a look at the scouting information that both players have, because that's quite key at this stage of the game. We can see just the Khan being used by the Mongols, opting for the one scout. We'll take a look at what B has gone up for. He's also going for the one scout. If you guys have been watching the casted games recently, you'll know that the meta has been for a long time 2 scouts, but actually it appears that things are slightly changing slowly to a one scout approach, unless you're against the French or the Rus. A lot of civilizations just opting for that singular scout at the moment. 4 villages on gold now for B, and I've seen him play a lot of Abbasid dynasty recently, so I might actually look to codify his build order, because he does something very interesting. He actually goes for the House of Wisdom, the upgrade to the feudal age, and then he queues up wheelbarrow, and then he'll get enough gold for the fresh foodstuffs. And what I've seen him do before, and I'd be really interested to see his macro balance here, is that when he reaches the feudal age, he often ends up with a just amount of gold he needs for that fresh foodstuffs, and then he goes straight over with 3 villages to stone, and then he drops a stable often for the horsemen. Sometimes he goes for barracks for some spearmen if he's up against a kind of civilization that opens horsemen a lot of the times. We shall see what B does today, and I'm really interested to see his build orders as well with the Abbasid dynasty. I'm also thinking about his second town centre placement. He has been known to be very aggressive with his town centres sometimes. He can go very far forward. What will he do today on Lipany? That's the question. Does reach that feudal age, and as we said, look at this, it's perfect. He's literally got 1 gold. The macro balance for this build is incredible. Literally only got 1 gold in the bank. He's moved the villagers now over to stone, and he's going to be working towards that second town centre that the Abbasid dynasty often do. He's got wheelbarrow, or is getting it at least, and he's going to get that stable. Yeah, we can absolutely. So there's a question in chat, can we look at his field of view? We can certainly do so, and I have spotted some games where he does look a bit odd. The question is really, you know, you can actually see sometimes him clicking on black spots on the map where he hasn't scouted before. But the question really is, you know, if you've been playing Age of Empires 4, leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know how you scout, because personally, I sometimes mix between the two. I take my scout and sometimes I click on the mini-map. That's one option to scout. Sometimes I actually click on the minimap to the black areas and then click my scout on that area. So, you know, you can't necessarily tell why he's looking at the black areas, and he's justified previous games that he's played as well. But anyway, we're not going to focus on too much the allegations and stuff because we don't really know too much. Red Bull haven't really said anything. They kept private about it. And I guess as a private company, I suspect that's their prerogative. And yeah, it's all speculation, really. I don't think anyone really knows why he's been banned, apart from the fact that maybe he has transgressed some rules in the handbook for the tournament. So we are looking at actually locking onto B's field of vision here. Seeing what he sees. He's killing the deer far out, making sure that they're not easily accessible in an efficient manner. Now he's going to take the stone villagers out. But do you see some Mangadai? Interesting. Okay, let's get the field of vision off. And let's get a bit more of traditional casting going again, because I think we see some Mangadai. Interesting build there for Kazza, going for Mangadai nice and early, looking to get some raiding done. Second town center going rather far forward. It's quite incredible how B does this. He could have opted for the deer here. Could have opted for the deer in this patch. This could have been quite a nice protected position, but he actually opts for the deer. Sorry, the berries at the front lines, and he might lose a couple of villages here though because of the Mangadai. You're going to pick apart of some of these villages. It's actually quite brutal for 3DB, it has to be said. Does have a couple of horsemen, but I think the Mangadai might focus. They're focusing on the horsemen for now, and B is just going to have to stall things out a little bit. So this is what we often see him do, get that stable for that map control with the horsemen. Does deny an outpost in that stealth forest, which is pretty useful. And a question in the chat, are Mangadai useful these days? They're actually pretty decent. Look at this, look, they're doing great work. And it comes down to the fact that they can just kite and just constantly move and fire at the same time. They're pretty good. They do have pretty weak pierce armor, so you can't really run underneath town centers, but they are quite weak if you run under town centers and static defenses. But at this stage of the game, it's actually not too bad. As you saw, he actually picked off like at least 2-3 villages and picked off a couple of horsemen as well. You need a really large mass. If you have a large mass of Mangadai, they can be very difficult to deal with. And a question of whether they got any buffs, I'm not entirely sure they did actually. I'm not entirely sure. They just seem to be being used a bit better now. You do need to have the Khan often close by, so that they can just make a mad dash for it with the arrow signal maneuver if he needs to. The maneuver arrow, rather. And looks like Kaz are trying to get that outpost in that stealth forest. I'll offer him a lot of vision, actually, and deny these 2 berry patches, so he'll be quite keen for that. But B spots that. He takes 2 horsemen. They're going to try and deny that. Should deny that. Back at home, looks like Kazva is opting for a fast castle behind this. Look at the number of villages he has in gold at the moment. 9 villages. That's a lot of villages, guys, on gold. And it's a bit awkward because he's dropping down 2 stables and a blacksmith. I mean, sure, the food count's rising, but I think this production builders might be in preempting the castle age. Maybe going for knights behind this. You're going to try and bide some time. And this is what Mangadai do. They force you to do this. They force the static defenses. And that's what B is having to commit to. He can't afford to leave these Mangadai alone because they'll just run in and kill a lot of villagers. So the Mangadai is just constantly a threat, and it forces this kind of play. He needs the outpost for protection here. Okay, it looks like Kaz's macro is on point. He's looking solid for that castle age soon. Does have a few villages and gold that he may not have needed to have had. But he'll be getting to that castle age very soon. But B is committing to the feudal age, of course, with the Abbasid dynasty going to town centres. Means that his economy should be strong. 34 villages for B, 30 for Kazva. Now, that has been somewhat changed by the fact that Mangadai got some villager kills. It's quite nice and early, so that makes a big difference to that villager count, as we see an archery range being put down. Double stable, double archery range for B, looking to really build a feudal age army. He needs to make sure he does some damage though, because Castle Age coming in for Kazwa, that's going to be strong. Horsemen going in through, there's 3 of them, should be able to pick 1 or 2 villages. The villagers back off, they're going to head towards the town centre safety. And it's good that Kazwa built the landmark relatively close to his town centre. Often we see a lot of players build their landmark towards the gold, which is totally unnecessary as the Mongols, because of course he can move this out when he wants to. Much better to build the landmark close to home, close to the town centre, so that he can build it safely, nice and securely, and then move the step road out when he needs to. At this point, the good thing for B is that, well, he's delaying things a little bit, and it means that Kazwa can't really move towards that gold vein until he gets some army on the field again. Might be Mangadai. He did have some Mangadai on the field. Need to see where they are exactly. Going around the right side. Forcing B a lot of idle time. A lot of villagers here. 23 or 21. Can't quite see that. But 21 villagers or so being idled. Horsemen coming in again. Really, it's archers that 3DB will need. But he'll need a mass of them. Going to protect on the stone vein there. Looks like actually B might be opting for a third town centre. Which is an interesting play. Especially because he sees... Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, that girl's on fire, does manage to save it. The step redoubt gets built, villagers head back home. Because they can't really freely take gold, and this is very key. Because Kazva's kind of cornered here. And B, if he can kind of build up a military lead, that will be very good for him. Because if he can deny the golds, these two gold veins are very, very rough for Kazva. Really B's priority at this point is to deny those golds. Because then it means that the Castle Age uptime is actually kind of pointless for him. Because he won't be able to produce those Castle Age armoured units. And now he's trying to get an outpost in that position. That could be a way for Kazva to try and protect that gold vein, but B is heading that way. Let's just see where his military is. Does have a couple of outposts in the stealth forest there, Kazva. I'll take it back. B's actually staying at home for now. He's going to let the gold come in. Does have quite a few Mangadai there, Kazva. There's that step redoubt. Step redoubt, a nice landmark now that we do see the villager count start to rise for B, 48 versus 36, but bear in mind, this step redoubt actually increases the villager effectively the number of villagers by 50%. So I think there's 19 villagers there. So say there's 18 roughly just for ease of division. My math has never been good. There's an extra 9 villagers effectively working there. And that will help narrow the gap a little bit in the economy difference. A couple of lancers coming out. Those lancers will do a lot of damage. There's no spearmen on the field. That's kind of a concern. The camel archers will do some damage, but there's not enough here to tank. I feel like these two lancers will do a lot of damage. We need to see some spearmen here out for the Basset dynasty, and these lancers have got quite a bit of value. Archers will continue to fire. Don't think Kazva has the upgrades just yet. Doesn't have Iron Under Mesh. Is getting it now, so Iron Under Mesh will really help. But damage has been done. A lot of army has been taken down there for 3DB. Needs to regroup. There's a market and a prayer tent being put down for the Mongols. He'll be looking to get those relics in nice and early now that he's in the Castle Age. He's got a massive window of opportunity to do so. No villagers on gold here for 3DB. Does opt for that third town centre on the berries there. You can see how aggressive 3DB is. This is one of the things that he was challenged with in terms of the concerns about him cheating. The fact that how was he so aggressive so frequently without having something to help him along those lines. But look at him. He's going full ahead with the berry patches forward. And just to let you know, guys, he has been streaming these games live with 2 cameras. One actually, as his main stream camera, and one actually showing his point of view at the back of his room, showing his whole screen and everything. So you can't really accuse him of cheating when you see those 2 cameras. And now you see the Ovu being replaced there by Kazva has run out that first one. Queuing up those shaman. We'll be looking to get some relics in for that monastery. We hear those relics being picked up. There's one there coming in now, protected by 2 lancers. B is really committing to that feudal age. 3 town centres. The village count going to be spiralling though. 42 for Kazva, 64 for B. He needs to be thinking about perhaps getting some spears. Does he have some barracks put down? Look at the Mangadai. Going to go through that southern wood line. And there's no emplacements in this outpost, so the villagers might... they're not even garrisoning inside. This is a huge raid there for Kazva. The Mangadai getting good value with a couple of lancers on the front lines. Camel archers coming to assist. Going to be fighting underneath the town centre. Archers in the back as well. It will be enough to push the army back, but Kazva got a lot of value. A couple of horsemen there on the north. Going to be harassing those villagers on the deer patch. Lancer's going to kind of try and push that back. Just the one though. Just the one lancer there. Looks like the horsemen are going to take the fight. A bit more safety now is on there for 3GB. Going to be walling this up, protect this food economy. Doesn't want to lose all those villagers. A lot of Mangadai have gone down, but quite a few Campbell archers there for 3GB. He needs to try and kite these lancers and take them apart if they can. Oh, the villagers get caught out. The Mangadai run through. The villagers going to be walled out on the same side as the one Mangadai. Only one Mangadai though, so won't be able to do too much damage. Camel archers focusing on those lancers back on the front lines. Look at this. Horsemen going to be protecting that third town centre. Lancer heading in there for the Mongols, but only one relic in so far. It's going to be the second town centre going down for Kazva now. Going to try and narrow that villager difference. Well, I say narrow, but I mean try and keep up as best as you can. Still 3 town centres to 2. Looks like Casper trying to get that Sacred Site. Has a relic there, but looks like, kind of funnily enough, 3DB going to be walling parts of those positions up. Doesn't look like that Monk is going to be, or that Shaman's going to be coming out easily. It doesn't seem like he's going to be able to go home safely. We do hear more relics being picked up, and it has to be for Casper because 3DB is still committing to that feudal age. 16 minutes almost on the clock. You see the berry patch is now about to expire. We do see Spearmen now on the field, and that's a nice touch there because masses of Lancers coming up for the Mongols could have done a lot of damage without those Spearmen. As we see that second town center now up and running for Casva. Let's take a look at the population at the moment. 48 villagers, 49 for Casva, 78, so significant difference there. 30 villager, that can really build up. We've talked about the Abbasid dynasty and their timings. If they can really build a huge feudal age army and then transition to the castle age, they'll have a massive economy behind that. It's just a case of surviving long enough. And look at this, Camel Archers will pick up that Shaman, denies that one relic. A lot of Camel Archers on the field. This is very high cost units. These guys cost 180 food per pop. That's an expensive unit. We want to lose those easily, and does take down some of the static defenses. Casva looking to be put under a bit of pressure here. Does start to pack up and leave his market and his monastery. Concern for Casva though is that his timing for that second town centre has not come at a great time. The food income will need to be quite high to sustain those two town centres. Don't forget, he doesn't have the bonus of the fresh foodstuff technology that the Abbasid do. The Abbasid dynasty effectively get 2 for the price of 1 of their villages. Castle paying full price, and in the meantime having to produce high armoured castle age units in the form of lancers. Will he get the numbers out there? Spearman on hand. I think this is a fight that Castle's taken. I'm not sure if it's a good one. Looks like he was focusing on the step out for some reason. He needs to get the Spearman in position to take those Lancers down. If those Lancers go down, that's going to be a problem for Casva. This is the big fight we've been waiting for. Casva under so much pressure. Those Camelage is going to pick off some of those villagers. The Horsemen too. The Spearmen heading on the front lines, trying to protect those units. Trying to be the meat shield against those Lancers. The Lancers are engaged by the Spearmen. The Spearmen are going to clear this up, you feel. There's not enough units here for Casva, and he's struggling. This second town center is going to be going down. Looks like the torches are going to be out for the Spearmen. And the Lancers can't engage because of the number of Spearmen here for B. Production is huge. Camel Archers again idling the Man at Arms. The Camel Archers don't do too bad against the Man at Arms, actually, to be fair. And the concern for Casva, he is struggling on gold. He has 0 villagers on gold. His economy is in tatters. The push coming in strong for 3DB. He's going to take down the second town center and then make his way to the capital town center. The real problem for Casva is its main source of gold income is just 2 relics. That's only 200 gold per minute. That's not going to be enough to sustain the production. And the production that is being used here, the units when they pop out, they're going to be picked apart by the Camel Archers. The second town center is being burnt to the ground. And there it is. Casva taps out. He calls the GG. 3DB takes a good, strong win on Lipini with the Abbasid dynasty triumphing over the Mongols. 3DB triumphing over Casva in the first game of this series. Be watching. Hope you guys enjoy this video. We're going to be moving straight on to another casted game for 3DB. So don't go anywhere. Maybe grab a drink. Maybe grab some popcorn. Because we're going to be back with another game for 3DB. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another game for 3DB's Be Watching, the series that I'm hosting here on YouTube. It's going to be a great one. I feel this is the same civilization matchup as the last game, with 3DB playing in the north corner of the map on Dry Arabia in orange as the Abbasid dynasty, and in the south we've got Lenok playing in blue as the Mongols. Same civilization matchup. We shall see what 3DB opts to do here. Same plan, probably the same game plan. Same civs, different map, different player. But another top player of Age of Empires 4. Lenok is no joke in Age of Empires 4. the finalist of the N4C tournament hosted by Nilly, the first LAN event for Age of Empires 4. He was the runner-up, obviously, to Beastie Cutie. So B is going to be facing up against one of the best players in Age of Empires 4. As he now transitions onto the gold. Looking at the map spawn here, 3DB does have a nice back berries there. Can't really argue with that. Taking a look at his gold, a bit exposed on the right side. Will we see a different approach though for Lenok? We saw in the last game against Kazva. Kazva kind of went up to the feud age, tried to put some pressure on, didn't get all that much achieved though. Let the Abbasid dynasty... Oh, actually, I take that back. He actually got quite a few Mangadai. He managed to kill quite a few villages. And what will we see Lenok opt for today? Because it looks like he's going to put down a barracks. Maybe look to have an outpost rush as the Mongols pile on the pressure nice and early. Maybe try and deny a bit of the gold, deny a bit of the stone. The stone is a bit precarious for 3DB at the moment. And an outpost here could deny gold and stone. We need to deny this one somehow. As we see the 3DB's build order going for that House of Wisdom now. And he'll be getting up to the next stage nice and early and then going for the mill and wheelbarrow. So an interesting build here for 3DB. See a villager come out, going to that wood line now, going to be dropping it down a lumber camp. I think I need to codify this build order for you guys. Something I would like to use on the ladder. Looks to be quite effective for 3DB at the moment, that's for sure. There's that age up. 3DB clicks the economic wing. It'll take a bit of time for the Abbasid dynasty, of course, the economic wing being researched by the House of Wisdom. It takes as long as it takes. There's no way to speed it up, I'm afraid. It will be what it will be. Okay, Lenok going towards gold now. Looks like the Gur setting up on that gold vein. Just like in the last game, the Abbasid dynasty will look to take advantage of the fresh foodstuffs, reduce the cost of the villagers by 50%. Khan going close to the town centre, loses a little bit of HP there. And we see the spearman head forward now. Do we see anything else? Let's take a look at his perspective there, Lenok. Doesn't have much else going on. Yeah, a couple of spearmen there, going to be dropping down an outpost on that wood line. I mean, it's a decent outpost, it will offer some vision. Try and deny that wood line. Yeah. Bob Mav, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Yep. B will be what it will be. I feel there's going to be some puns today. It will be what it will be. There's going to be a lot of puns today. All good fun. Lots of villagers on gold though for B. He's conscious of the fact that he's playing up against the Mongols. He needs to make sure that he wants that fresh foodstuffs, and he will get it. He'll get enough gold for doing that. I think yeah, he's also got wheelbarrow. So I think he might head back with the villagers on gold, trying to mine as much as he can. And then head back. He might look to delete that mining camp. No, too late. It's been torched. And that means that the raiding bonus might come out for Lenok if he puts that on fire. But 3DB will want to address that. B is now in the feudal age. The concern for Lenok is that he's kind of stuck. Oh no, it's just about to click up to the castle age, probably with the deer stones. We shall see. We shall see. There's the age up coming out for Lenok now. Okay, that outpost is now up and running. And further outposts going on the left side. We're going to be denying that stone. And this is quite key. This is what we talked about as the game was starting off. If Lenok can deny the stones, that denies the expansion. And it forces B to try and fight this off. He's going to go down with an archery range to try and stop the spearmen pushing. Yep, Bob, I totally agree with you in chat as well. I'd love for B to prove us all wrong. And I mean... we don't really know what's been happening, why, or he's been banned from Red Bull Wololo Legacy as in the specific reasons. I don't think any reasons will be given to us, and that just is what it is. It will be what it will be. And I guess B is getting some solace though. He's grinding on the ladder, showing people his skills. And he's actually streaming live on Twitch. So this game has been streamed live on Twitch for 3DB with 2 cameras set up. One a front-facing camera and one at the back of his room showing his screen as well. So there can't really be any allegations of cheating on these games. And I think if B actually starts to beat top-level pros, you know, it'll go some way to try and, well, it'll show the community anyway that he doesn't necessarily need to rely on cheats if that's what they're accusing him of. We see an archer range and a barracks being put down for B, looking to get those feudal age army. He needs to try and clear this up. It does kind of have the potential to get the stone mine on the right side, which you'll see if he decides to take that or not. Arrow slits coming in for the Mongols. Now, what we're going to often see when you're going up against the Mongols outpost rush, a lot of players tend to, before arrow slits can come in, try and torch these down, but there are units garrisoned inside, so it's a little bit suboptimal. Would lose quite a few units. Does he have textiles? That's the question as well. B doesn't indeed have textiles. As archers, doesn't really have the units, melee units, to torch it down, and in fact probably saving up quite a bit of wood. Might be looking to get that stone. We shall see. Got 2 outposts in his base. It's not actually inhibiting him too much. It's actually rather safely taking wood at this point, and it's kind of more of a delay tactic. Looks like Lenok now will be looking to get those units onto the field. He is in the feudal age himself, getting an archer range and a barracks, maybe seeing archers or Mangudai. Likely to be archers, you feel, for the Mongols in this position. What will B decide to go for here is actually long mining the gold, curiously enough. Question is, what is he trying to save up for? Let's go. Yeah, Bob makes a very good point in chat, mentioning that one of the accusations was that he his play in the ladder was pretty subpar compared to his tournament positions, tournament play. But I mean, I don't really. I mean, this is one, as you say, it's one of the accusations. I just don't really buy it as a reason. It's you know, he was messing around on tournament. He was messing around on the ladder, and that was his reason. But I hear what you're saying. You're just, yeah, as you're mentioning, that's kind of one of the accusations put out. The ram comes out to try and take down the outpost. A couple of archers in that ram as well. Alright, the archers will take out the spears though, so that will be cleared up. And of course the Abbasid dynasty, making use of the fact that they get siege engineering for free, just need to invest that wood into the ram, and as he does, going to clear this up and offer a little protection. Now he starts to go for that stone. So Lenok doing a great job of denying the second base expansion, the second town center expansion. And now behind this, what's fascinating is that Lenok is going to go to the castle age. You've got 6 villages and gold, got plenty on food, and this is a very nice uptime for Lenok behind this. 8 minutes. I mean, that is kind of knocking on the doors of HRE. HRE can often reach castle age at the 8 to 9 minute mark, but you know, coupling an outpost rush and then transitioning to castle age, pretty impressive. Welcome James Nicholson to the chat. Welcome, hope you're doing well. This is the second game I've casted in this live stream, and no, he didn't run directly into D, at least not that I noticed. And we can see quite a few villagers on stone there, 11 of them wanting to rush that second town centre. So I really like this kind of play that B has been doing. He really booms up quite hard with the Abbasid dynasty as he can in the feudal age, produces a lot of units. Now inevitably his opponent gets to that castle age before him. But what B tries to do is tries to narrow that differential in terms of time. And as long as he can hold on with feudal age army, once he does get to the castle age, he'll often have a better economy. But the trouble in this particular game that we've seen so far, he hasn't had that superior economy. If we take a look at the villager count at the moment, 33 for B, 31 for Lenok. That villager difference is just not there. And that's because of Lenok's ability to really slow things down for B. B had to invest in rams. He had to take down those 2 outposts. And it really delayed him for that second town centre. So Lenok really making B uncomfortable here, taking a couple of spearmen out that are running underneath the town centre. That's less than ideal. Lenok's guy is being put under pressure, but that guy will probably move out of position. Just get that back home safely. I'm sure that will happen. As we now see the step redoubt has been built for Lenok. Vast amounts of gold will be coming out here for him. Don't forget, this is also a really nice economic landmark, because you can see there are 14 villages in gold right now, but that actually, the step redoubt itself, if you're unaware, it actually increases the amount of gold dropped off by 50%. So all these villages, there are 14 here, he effectively has the equivalent of an extra 7, so 21 villages effectively on gold. And you know, an extra 7 villages, that counts for the differential, and actually puts technically Lenok ahead on economy. A couple of camel archers on the field. These are very expensive units, so he will not want to lose these 3DB, but he might indeed lose them. As he heads back to the second town centre. Get a stable out of B now. Stable barracks, archer range. He really needs to produce that army. He needs to hold on here. Camel archers do a decent job against man-at-arms. What will Lenok go for in the castle age? He has actually committed to archers, surprisingly enough. He's going to get that prayer tent, look to pick up some of those relics, really boost that gold income, getting a market as well. Maybe just to rebalance the economy slightly, we shall see. A couple of villagers going here on the west side, maybe looking to get that deer patch. Nice food income coming in for Lenok soon. As he heads forward with the archers, picks off a couple of spears, and this is a concern for B. He needs to deal with this army, he needs to deal with it fast, especially before they become veteran. Are they? Yeah, the veterancy is coming in, and it's too late. B will not be able to take that fight particularly well now. Welcome RD, how is it going, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the chat. Lenok is going to be just dancing around here, dancing around, and this is good for Lenok because this is more of a distraction. Because this allows Lenok to pick up some of those relics on the map. Has to be said though, 3DB doesn't look like it's going to edge towards Castle Age anytime soon, and that's expected because of the expansion. He is getting 2 for the price of 1 on the villagers though, to be fair. Ram heads forward. I think the Ram's going to try and do some damage, but we shall see how much B is able to pump out in terms of units. He's doing well in terms of spending his resources. Doesn't have any villagers on gold. That tells you one thing. That B is really hard committing to the feudal age. Might be a wololo. Wololo might happen. B reacts. He pulls the horseman back into the stealth forest. Pulls back the ram as well. The ram's just being a bit of a nuisance, kind of body blocking. I quite like what B is doing here. He's actually using the ram as a bit of a body block. Now it's kind of exposed to the army. Has to head back there for B. Doesn't have the numbers he needs to defend. Berry patch kind of at risk there a little bit. Let's take a look at the relic situation. Where's that prayer tent? There's the prayer tent. Do we see any shaman on the field? Let's just take a look at his position. Looking to pick up a relic there on the right side. In the middle, that's where the fight is happening. And yeah, shaman going on the left side. He might activate the sacred site. He'll need to be careful of that. He won't want to do that, really. It does activate it, so B will know about this. Wolf is on the chase as well, I'm afraid. Yeah, B might react. He's going to pull the horseman that way. He's going to try and deny that relic. He knows. Trouble for B is that he doesn't want to commit too hard, because if he does, these archers might get some value. Where are the archers heading off? They're heading off to the right side, maybe to protect that shaman there on the right side. Has to be said though, Lenok is kind of at risk here, doesn't have the numbers he needs. These horsemen will do a job on these archers, even though they're veteran. Still be able to get some decent value, but the archers are caught out of position. Trying to kite back as much as they can, but the horsemen have the movement speed they need. On the west side, archers are building up again in the stealth forest. There are 2 villagers there, maybe to get an outpost in that stealth forest. Khan has been killed, and the archers have been taken down. That's a big win there for B. He does a lot by doing that. He reduces the archer numbers, and that's not to be underestimated. That buys even more time for B to build up that economy. They're not looking good on the food and gold, not spending up too quickly. 41 economy for Lenok, 65 for B. This is where things can start to spiral out of control. You get the feeling that Lenok not adding that second town centre does mean he's hard committed to an aggression here, which is not a bad idea when you're playing as the Mongols, as 2 relics come in. Has already one there, so that'll be 300 gold per minute. You get the feeling that Lenok will be having a lot of gold very quickly. On the front line, a couple of villagers will be picked apart by that horseman. On the front lines, camel archers and archers trying to press. They will actually be pressing. Look at this aggression for B, getting an outpost and a mill on the front berries. This is the aggression that we've come to know and love from B. Horsemen and camel archers and archers there, piling on the pressure. B is committing hard to the feudal age. He's not interested in the castle age. Not today in this game. Needs to be careful about the man-at-arms though. The man-at-arms can tank. Looks like relics coming in. A 4th relic coming in. That's going to be 400 gold per minute. That's the equivalent of 10 villagers, guys. Oh, going to lose some villagers on the deer patch, so that's a bit sloppy there for Lenok by his high standards. There are 10 villagers there, so this is equivalent of an extra 5. Plus the 4 relics, that'll be another 10 villagers. 15. 38 villagers to 75. That differential really big now, actually. Even with the gold from the step redoubt and the relics, the economy is so much better for the Abbasid dynasty, and it's really starting to translate into military. Look at the number of camel archers. Camel archers do well against the man-at-arms, actually. It has to be brought into consideration. The horsemen are going to tank with the camel archers behind with the archers as well. A couple of man-at-arms will be dying. It feels like Lenok might be losing this game if he can't fight this off. The man-at-arms still though in good mass. Camel archers need to kite this. The archers diving a bit too close to the town centres. Lenok giving up a go there for the ram. And this is a nice staging ground. This outpost in a fantastic position allows some protection for the villagers to gather the berries. He doesn't care the fact that this is a war zone. On the wood line, there's the defense arrow for the Khan. There's not enough man-at-arms, you feel. Man-at-Arms going to start to get picked apart by the horsemen tanking, and the camel archers behind. More Man-at-Arms come to join the fight, but it feels just like B might take this win here because the army numbers are holding Leonok, but it's a question of how long they can hold on for. Fighting underneath the town centre, which is not optimal, but we'll be losing a couple of camel archers for that. He's quite happy to take the fight though, it looks like. And he pulls back with the army now. Looks like 3DB doesn't need to hard commit too much. Does have that ram still alive. Will he start to push again with the ram? He's committing hard to the field edge, but one thing has to be brought into consideration. We see that gold income start to come in for B. Maybe B is itching towards that castle age. He's thinking about it. Does have 89 villagers in the feudal age. Pretty impressive aggression here coming out for B. And the trouble for Leonok is that he can't breathe. He can't really gather his army. He's trickling in man-at-arms as just singularly. Not going to be an effective way to fight here. 15 villagers are garrisoned inside that town centre. I feel a bit worried. I worry here for B actually. He doesn't want to dive in with those camel archers. Those are very expensive units to lose underneath the town centre. Not getting too much more value. To be fair, he is idling 15 villagers though. It's not like Leonok has that many to start off with. Let's take a look at the economy. It's really starting to expand here. Finishing up some of the berry patches. There's that fourth relic. It looks like the second town centre coming out for Leonok, but is it a bit too little too late? 96 villagers versus 44. That's more than double at this point. Get the feeling that second town centre's come too late. 17 minutes in the game. B looking dominant in the feudal age, playing as the Bastard Dynasty. Maybe itching towards that castle age. Probably just has to idle some of his stables. Look, he's actually producing from 3 stables. Camel Archer's going to harass that woodline again. Villagers being idle there for Leonok. Going to take the engagement. Camel Archer's going to kite down those man-at-arms, and there's not much that Leonok can do at this point. I'm going to try and preserve those man-at-arm numbers as much as he can. Let's take a look at the archery range numbers. There's 3 of them. It's four archery ranges being... Holy smokes, and that's a lot of food coming out from those camel archers. Yep. B will not be worried at all. He's getting the gold he needs. He just needs to idle production, and then he'll be able to idle production for like 30 seconds, and then he'll be maybe a bit more than that, maybe a minute. 60 seconds, then he'll go up to the castle age, and that'll be a strong push from there. The economy looking incredible for the Bastard Dynasty, but we're not surprised by that really. As he dives underneath the second town centre, 8 villagers idled. Horsemen going to tank a lot of their arrow fire. Camel Archer is going to try and kite the man-at-arms as much as possible. Villagers, wait, what? Villagers coming out. Looks like Leonok is under pressure because he's being forced with villagers. Torches are out. Looks like Leonok should be able to possibly take that ram. In fact, oh, that's really clever. B actually garrisoned inside the ram, those villagers, so they can repair the ram. And there's getting so much value. Leonok losing even more villagers. The ram does go down, but I mean, B could he could afford another 2 or 3 already. With the man-at-arms going down, you get the feeling it's not going to leave much army left. 29 military for B, 2 military for Leonok, and it looks like Leonok's going to be going down to the Abbasid Dynasty. Mongols struggling here on Dry Arabia. He's going to just double down. He takes the win. Leonok taps out. Mongols versus the Abbasid Dynasty. 3DB showing 2 games in a row now. Same civilization matchup. His Abbasid Dynasty is incredibly strong. What a game. Hope you guys enjoyed this casted game. We've got plenty more games coming on the way for the 3DB ranking up on that ladder. Alright, guys, I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm just going to set up the next game and we're going to hop right into it. Might have a bit of a chat for that next game. Alright guys, we're going to be heading into the next game very soon. Hope you're all doing very, very well. How are you doing, Artie? Hey, Fernando. Welcome, welcome. I want to see a camera behind him, KK. Okay, well, yeah, you know what? Fernando, you know, he actually has that. So, you know these games I've casted today on the stream? On this particular stream, all these games, 3DB has been live streaming it on Twitch. And he actually has a camera, 2 cameras. One on the front, one at the back. So you can actually see his you can see his computer screen, you can see everything. So these two games that we've casted so far, the one against Kasva, the one against Lenok, been live streamed. I don't think we can. Yeah, I mean he's streamed both cameras, so you'll see that camera behind him, Fernando. I can assure you of that. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves, having a good time. Some good games being casted today, and we've got another banger. It's going to be Kalp. And this is going to be another test. I mean, Kalp is certainly a very strong player. I'm going to get the overlay sorted. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. There we are. Alrighty. So Kalp is a very strong player as well. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 3 of this live stream. We're going to be following 3DB, who is now playing on the west side of the map in orange as the Abbasid Dynasty. 3 games in a row that he's playing the Abbasid Dynasty. He is on the grind with this civilization. And he'll be playing up against Kalp, playing as the English in blue on the right side of the map being Lipiny. A cool matchup. I feel like the Abbasid Dynasty could do pretty well against the English. The English kind of struggle without having an obvious eco advantage at this stage of the game. Sure, they can get those cheaper farms, but it's really in the late game that the English really survive and do really well. Of course, with the enclosures bonus from the mill, will we get a game that lasts that long? We'll have to see. Be playing with the Abbasid Dynasty, going with the House of Wisdom, of course, as the age up building, the one and only landmark. Actually, I take that back. It's the one of 2 landmarks. Of course, we cannot forget about the capital town centre. This is the other landmark that is responsible for all the other age ups. And same build, literally same build. I think I will codify this so that we can share it and learn it and play the Abbasid Dynasty the way that B plays it. I love this playstyle. You'll be getting that House of Wisdom, the tech up to the feudal age first, and then he goes for wheelbarrow, and then he goes for fresh foodstuffs, and then he takes the villagers off of gold to stone. We saw it in the last game. He only had 1 gold in the bank before he transitioned to gold, affording everything he needed to get. It's just pure efficiency and beautiful to watch. 9 villagers on food. Looks like, oh, hello. Bit of early Vanguard man-at-arms action coming up for Kalp. Trouble is, what value can he get? He has to go all the way around to the gold. This is actually pretty important. This will actually deny the fresh foodstuffs. And wheelbarrow. Does have the upgrades though. So this is what's really interesting. This is why 3DB's build is so safe, because he makes sure that he gets to the feudal age first. If he went for wheelbarrow first, which often, not often, but a lot of other build orders do have for the Abbasid Dynasty, they go for wheelbarrow first. That can leave you very exposed. Because if you've invested that time, not so much time for the mill, but you've invested 50 wood on the mill and the 125 gold for wheelbarrow, you might struggle to get the next stage. And it is 2 Vanguard man-at-arms. Is it going to be any more than that? Kalp playing a lot of English these days. I've seen him play a lot of English. He's committing. Holy smokes, he's going for another 2 Vanguard man-at-arms as well. So it's going to make 4 in total. We don't see this every day. A lot of aggression. Going to try and torch that down. Trouble for B is that, well, where does he get the gold for fresh foodstuffs? Sure, he's got the age up. I mean, to be fair, he doesn't really need fresh foodstuffs to start off with. Going to get an outpost in a very nice position. If that goes up, that'll be a problem for Kalp, and it should go up because the Vanguard man-at-arms can't dive too closely to that town centre. So this is a nice way to defend against this, getting an outpost first. I was half thinking you might go for some archers, but then that will really force B to do something he doesn't want to do, invest 150 wood rather than the 100 from the outpost. And then he would have to produce units, of course. Now the Vanguard man-at-arm coming on the other side of things. Okay, the outpost going up. Now can safely take that gold. There's the age up. Okay, so it's going to be a bit delayed on that fresh foodstuffs, but all things considered, kind of expected, as we see a farming transition for Kalp. Let's take a look at the scouting info that we've got for B. It does have only 1 scout, picking up a decent number of sheep. How about for Kalp? Kalp actually opted for... Yep, just the 1 scout himself. He actually kept a lot of the Vanguard man-at-arms alive. A little bit obsolete at this point, especially in the feudal age now. An outpost going on the berries, going to be making sure that's nice and safe there, B. Oh, will he get that up in time? I'm not sure. The Vanguard man-at-arms are there, so are the scouts. Vanguard man-at-arms, he's not diving too close. I mean, it's the town centre really. The town centre offers so much protection. Can't really dive too much closer. And the outpost just increases that range of protection. We'll be getting that mill up nice and quickly after that. Maybe looking to get wheelbarrow afterwards. It will be the case. He's already clicked the fresh foodstuffs. By the time the mill was built, probably be able to afford it. Got 7 villagers on gold. There it is. Still hear sheep being picked up. Rather surprising at this stage of the game. Actually, it can happen, especially when you've got one scout. There's that scout for B. Got a lot of the map scouted. I have to say the scouting pattern a lot better there for B, and that's partly because he wasn't being aggressive. The scout for Calp had to keep an eye out where key resources were. It meant that he wasn't able to make his way across the map a lot. So that's a little bit of a nuanced thing to discuss. Like, if you're going to be aggressive, then if you have only one scout, you are torn between using your scout to scout the aggression. Like, where does your Vanguard Man-at-Arms need to go with that scout? As opposed to just scouting the map for sheep. So B could concentrate on the sheep, whereas Calp couldn't. He had to focus on where the Vanguard Man-at-Arms could get value, as we now see 8 villages being transitioned to stone for B, looking to rush up that second town centre, which is where the bonuses really start to kick in for the Abbasid dynasty, having fresh foodstuffs, and will be reducing the cost of those villages. Hello Kolja, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoy the casted games. We're casting B, as you can see, looking at his live ladder games. Actually, this is not live. This is late today, a little bit earlier today, but he played it and he streamed it live on Twitch with 2 cameras, so we can't really accuse him for cheating there. As we see the council hall going up for Calp, 7 minutes on the clock, bit delayed, of course. Invested a lot of resources in those Vanguard Man-at-Arms. It's kept alive. That's quite important. He's managed to keep those units alive. Often you'll see players just throw units away, but not Calp. About to afford that second town centre. The question is, where does B go for that second town centre? Now, it could go for the berries, but if you guys know B, like we've seen him play recently, probably going to be more aggressive for it. I think he's going to go for the town centre here. There's 2 berry patches you can take, and the wood line. And I wouldn't be surprised to see B go for the berry patches here. It's far forward. We've seen B do crazy things, but I mean, it's a little bit crazy against the English though. Especially with the Vanguard Man-at-Arms there. It won't be. It will be a defensive town centre. Yeah, it will be. Yeah, on the right side with the berries and the wood line. Because of the Vanguard Man-at-Arms. Looks like B may be opting for a third town centre. Got quite a few villagers there on stone still, 9 of them. Thing is, B needs to be careful. Needs some production buildings. Does have the archer range in the stable. Needs those units to come out though, because there are a couple of longbowmen, a couple of Vanguard Men-at-Arms, the villagers on stone. We'll probably need to head back. A couple of camel archers. Looks like Calp is going quite heavy in the feudal age. Got longbows, spears, and Vanguard Men-at-Arms. As the villagers do get pushed away from that stone mine. Doesn't lose a villager though, importantly there be. Bit of idle time, but no lost villagers just yet. The question is, does Calp see that expansion, that second town centre? I don't believe he does. He could be. I mean, if he looks there, he'll be conscious of that. He'll see that. So he might head that way. Sending a couple of longbows there just to check. And now this is where the economy starts to build up for B. 30 villagers for Calp, 31 for B. Take a bit of time, but he'll get there. Scout. I'll survive. A couple of longbows, going to push the horsemen away. And I like what B's doing here, getting the static defenses up. Those towers offer a lot of protection for that wood line. Cannot afford to be pushed off these resources right now, as he builds up his economy. Ooh, quite a few villagers on the left side, surprising. He's opting for a third town centre. Got 300 stone. Sending the villagers forward there. Needs to get that wood income though. Producing some horsemen. Oh, an outpost going there for the English. Don't think he would want that to go up. Where are these villagers going? Are they going for that? Are they? Is he doing it? Is he going? I'm going to put the town centre there. Oh, jeez, maybe I was right the first time. He might put it here actually. This is a very nice spot. Yeah, 8,000 gold. Berries. Oh, we might lose a villager to the wolf though. No. Anyway. Villager being sent forward for the outpost. Where is that villager? That's the question. There she is. She's making her way across that sacred site. He needs to be careful here. You won't want to let that outpost go up. Once the outpost goes up, that gives the network of castles bonus for the English. That's 20% extra attack speed. In fact, 25% extra. As we see a ram being built on the field here for Kalp. He's invested in siege engineering. He means business. He wants to pressure in the feudal age, as he now starts to look to get steeled arrow as well. Looks like the outpost will go up unchallenged. Doesn't look like B notices that. Oh, he does. He sees it. He sees it. He's got the outpost vision. Question, he doesn't really have anything to deny it with. Doesn't have the army he needs. Kind of a concern because he's committed to 3 town centers, albeit the villager count or the villager cost is not all that high for the Abbasid dynasty. It's effectively producing at 1.5 compared to the other civilizations in terms of cost of those villagers. Obviously producing triple town center production, which is crazy. But the longbow numbers is really starting to build up with spears as well. And the question is, what army do you get here as B? It's up against longbows, it's up against spears, it's up against man-at-arms. You get the feeling that full archers will be the play. He's going to mix in horsemen as well though. But he does need an archer range, and that is indeed the case, as you can see now. He's going to get that second archer range and third. He needs those archer ranges because the archer range will counter the longbows in some ways. Obviously the longbows have the range advantage, but the actual archers for the Abbasid dynasty will have the movement speed advantage. And that's quite key because it will also be able to kite the man-at-arms and the spears, but pretty obsolete. With good micro with longbows and spearmen, it can be very hard to fight that off with horsemen. The horsemen just die to the longbows when they try to retreat. We'll see that happen now. You can see the horsemen are going to dive in on the rams, but a lot of them will go down to the longbows. The longbow numbers are too large. You really need a massive mass of horsemen to take in a meaningful engagement. And even if you have that, there are just too many spears. But he's committing with triple stable though. Going quite heavy on that front. 2 rams now heading towards that outpost. Bit tentative here for Kalp. Their town centre up and running though. This is going to be a full feudal age affair, it seems, or a very heavy feudal age. The horsemen going to dive in, maybe to take the rams. The rams back off. The longbows take some good HP off the horsemen. Takes 1 horseman down for good measure, and this is a bit cautious there for B. He doesn't want to dive in too quickly, can't afford to. He needs to hold his position. Oh, a couple of horsemen try to go around around the back. Trying to pick off reinforcements perhaps, but Kalp is full scale production here. Got the council hall, the barracks. Just those production buildings, just the 2. They're just maintaining the production. The trouble for Kalp is that the longer the game goes on, B's army will start to build up. The push comes in now. 3 rams. Kalp feels confident. Man-at-arms going to tank against the archers. The horsemen take out, or at least try to engage against the man-at-arms. The spears on hand to protect the longbows. The archer's going to focus on the longbows. Doesn't feel like he has enough longbows here, Kalp. That's a concern. If the longbow numbers die, that's an issue, because then the rest of the army is kiteable. Horsemen need to engage with the man-at-arms if they can. The archer numbers aren't that great for B though. Longbows are maintaining the numbers quite well. This is a pivotal fight. A couple of horsemen do go down to the spearmen. That's what we talked about. The horsemen are pretty redundant here. Now this woodline at risk. Villagers need to be pulled back. They cannot freely take that lumber. And look at the spearmen. They engage against the horsemen again. It's super micro intensive, these horsemen, especially with the spearmen in the hand. There aren't any more spearmen though. Actually no, I take that back. There's still a couple of spearmen there, 3 of them. The army being pushed back though. Kalp isn't able to push this woodline any further. Well, the woodline's already been taken out. Ram's going to try and take on the capital town centre. Villagers coming out. I think B commits here. He takes out 1 ram. Good value in the end. Villagers garrison inside the static defences, and now Kalp is going to recover. He's going to regroup, build up another ram. Archers there for B, heading forward a little bit. Overextending somewhat, needs to head back, needs to rebuild. Needs to regroup his army. But the question is, look at the village count, 69 for B, 45 for Kalp. The longer this game goes on, the stronger B will look. Taking some unfavourable fights, but he just needs to hold on. If B can hold on, he could push back from here. Might lose a stable. A small price to pay, buys him time. But this is certainly where the focus of attack is. The longbow's going to be facing off. The horseman might dive here. The spearman being put towards that second town centre. This is a problem for B. He needs to address this. Oh, the palings get deployed. We don't often see that. Oh, the horsemen just pull away at the right time. The spearmen tried to start heading back. He's going to head around the back, and this is an issue for Calp. He split up his army. This is not a good play by Calp. He's going to lose a lot of his longbows. The archers, the camel archers. Horsemen going to take down the longbows. The spearmen will come, but they're going to be too late to the fight, and this is a great fight for B, that's for sure. Villagers going to take down the rams. Sure, it might lose a couple of villagers, but he's got plenty of villagers. He can make more. He's got 3 town centers after all, and the army being lost here for Calp is a huge deal. And that push has been halted. Calp has to go back to square one. Doesn't have the military numbers, and this is a problem now. This is a huge problem for Calp. He's invested in that push, and he didn't manage to make it count. Kind of got caught in between 2 mines, brought his spears towards that second town center. Couldn't get the value he wanted. Bringing those spears away from those longbows meant that the archers could focus fire, and the horsemen could get us around. He deployed the palings, but only facing one way. It meant that the horsemen could get us around the back. A good micro there for B to make that work. As we see Calp having to head back from that position. B might even look to take down that outpost. Here comes another engagement. Archer numbers look quite nice. They might... Oh no, B's going to rush forward. He's actually going to focus on the longbows. He doesn't care about the man-at-arms for now. Not sure how I feel about that. He's going to focus fire on the archers, on the longbows. And this is what we see. We talked about this earlier. Sure, Calp has longer range with longbows, but the movement speed is for B, and so Calp is committed. He cannot pull those longbows back. They're all dead. But the question is, how many man-at-arms, how many archers can the man-at-arms kill? There's quite a few man-at-arms on that field. The archers do take quite a few longbowmen out. I mean, not too bad a trade there for Calp. And it's mostly in part because of the man-at-arms that were there. But as we say, B is continuing to produce those horsemen. $82 villagers for B, 51 for Calp. Villager lead starting to really build up. He heads forward with the army again. Holding that position in that berry patch. It's a nice foothold that Calp has on this hill, but the concern for Calp is that he's so far behind on economy. Does have good efficient farming transition. Only with the 1 town centre versus 3, he's fighting an uphill battle, that's for sure. Both players still stuck in that feudal age. 17.5 minutes on the clock. I do love games like this. It's going to take down those houses as well. Quite a few horsemen. Looks like Calp is having to regroup. Concern for Calp. Oh my god. Look at B, just taking the free resources on the field. Does have an outpost there. Pretty exposed. Did manage to take a couple of deer carcasses, but that's going to be under pressure. Concern is, will B get there? He's going to send his army forward. There's a large army here now. B should be able to defend his position. The outpost won't survive for long though. Those man-at-arms will take that down pretty quickly. The villagers are probably going to be dying. But the good thing for B is this gives them so much breathing space, guys. This allows B to 3 TC boom so nicely. 94 villagers. He's at 150 population, is still in the feudal age. That's a little bit bonkers when you think about it. 91 population from Calp, and he's housed. Trouble for Calp is that he's going to have to invest wood. Look at the horsemen diving in. Calp's going to get a lot of villagers dying here. The horsemen are idling a lot. Now there's 2 ways to think about this. A lot of people may think, oh, he's diving and overextending here, B, but I think this is great value. He's idling so much of the economy. 14 villagers are idled, and he took some out as well. 49 economy versus 100. Literally double the number of villagers here for B. The longer this game goes on, Calp is struggling. Trying to maybe edge towards that castle age, potentially, Calp. That might be the well, not win condition, but maybe a way back into the game. He's going to need that tech advantage with better units. Trying to wall up, that's a heavy wood investment. The walls aren't going up though, because B is very active with his army. Get ahead on that east side, look to deny the woodline. There's no villagers there though. Farming economy still thriving. Had to head over to this western woodline. It's starting to wall up though nicely. As I say that, a couple of archers are going to deny those walls. Going to be taking down those villagers. Those are villagers that Calp can't afford to lose. Not when you're facing up against the 3 town centre Abbasid dynasty. Yeah, the horsemen are just going to keep those walls open. Couple of longbows, just going to try and protect that woodline. Holy smokes, down the south there, lots of horsemen. Going to try and idle that woodline, and that's huge. Sure, the longbow's going to get good value. This is all buying B time. And B doesn't mind this at all. He knows there's a head in villagers. He must know. All the spears are going to engage. That's not a good fight for B. B needs to pull away from that. He lost a lot of horsemen there for free. As the archers pull back, B just diving in and out, ducking in and out, weaving in and out, causing some idle time, some damage here and there. Horsemen have to retreat on the west side, and behind this though, B will be looking strong to get to that castle age. And that's a concern for Calp. Look at the economy here. 49 for Calp. Hasn't been able to build on that villager count at all. Constant raiding really hurting him. 115 villagers. It's a little bit nutty there. I have the feeling that the longer the game goes on, B will be in a strong position, and he's actually going to be clicking up to the castle age. Going up with the culture wing. Farming transition coming out as well on this western third town centre. In a very nice position there for B. Look at the military numbers. That's where things are really starting to tell. 60 military for B. 62 for Calp. Actually, it's actually relatively even. The concern though is that Calp doesn't have the villager count that he would want. And B can throw his army away and just replace it in a blink of an eye. He just has to take relatively cost-effective trades. Calp has to take amazing fights to stay in this game. He's going to go up with the King's Palace, the second town centre for him. And that castle age. It does look like B will get to that next stage quicker though. Also, we're going to try and get some value on the right side. Calp is aware of this, of course. But look at the economy. 2,200 gold, food rather. 700, 800, 900 gold. I mean, to be honest with you, B could afford Imperial Age. He can actually afford Imperial Age as soon as he gets to the castle age. He doesn't spend any more resources. This is a bit insane. Oh, actually, no, Calp actually gets to the castle age first, and it's due to the fact that the Abbasid dynasty has to rely on the House of Wisdom to tech up. Can't rush it with villagers. He's going to be pushed back a little bit though. Can't really take this fight just yet. He won't want to either, B. Doesn't have to. He can try and kite this if he wants. Longbow's getting good value. There is that castle age for B. I think he spent a lot on gold, a lot of gold units though. He spent, look at this, he's getting upgrades straight away. He's not even waiting for the culture wings, preservation of knowledge. He's got veterancy for his archers, going to get veterancy for his camel archers. Going for the military academy as well, and veterancy for the horsemen. He's going to get preservation of knowledge as well. But he has the economy to kickstart everything. Look at the food count. Pretty insane. Almost 4,000 food. Seems it's like going to be difficult for Calp to win this fight and win this game. There are quite a few man-at-arms though. These have been upgraded to castle age man-at-arms, so it's a nice transition there for Calp. He had a lot of feudal age man-at-arms, which is now upgraded. And it's going to push the archers back. The archers are relatively redundant here for B. But you'll want to wait for that veterancy before taking a fight. The longbow's picking off a horseman or two. The range for the longbow is actually looking quite nice there for Calp. The English looking pretty strong here. The Abbasid dynasty looking to pick off the reinforcements. Look at the food count. I mean, if B just drops a market, more production buildings, he can spam anything he wants here. But it's picking off the reinforcements. Nice play there by B. He wasn't going to get much more value. He's using the mobility of his army, the camel archers and horsemen. Pulls Calp's one army one way and then the other way the next minute. Trying to break through the palisade gate. The army comes back for Calp. Now this is perfect for B. This is exactly what he wants. He wants Calp to bring his army back home. He doesn't want the army, the English army in his base at all. Look at B. He's almost at top 200 population. He's population capped almost. That's a little bit crazy. Double the amount of villagers. Pulling one army one way, the other army the other way. Exactly what you want if you're 3DB. Calp trying to get his way back into the game somehow. And try and put some pressure on this third western town centre, but the army's there for B. He's kept quite a few veteran horsemen there. Camel archers under fire from the longbows. It's not what B would want, but he's got 2 mangonels. Those mangonels will cause a lot of damage, even against the man-at-arms. Obviously do a lot more damage against the longbows, but we shall see if they get a chance to fire at those. And B has a massive horde of knights. The lancers there, diving in. Man-at-arms engaged, mangonels in the background, camel archers. Those man-at-arms have to head back home. Calp losing a lot there. B will be going up to the Imperial Age if he wishes to. I think he decides against it. He spent the gold on something. He had about 1,200 gold, and we see him spend it immediately. Probably on siege, but there are 2 mangonels still in the field, and the longbows have to head back. They can't engage. Mangonels itch further forward. Going to be taking decent hits there. Oh, this could be problematic for Kaup. He's engaging with the spearmen on the horsemen. Mangonels get the fire off. That'll take a lot of HP off those spearmen. If spearmen go down, that'll be game over because the horsemen have free reign on those longbows. A couple of man-at-arms still survive, but not that many. It's not much of a meat shield for those longbows. Longbows going to be exposed very soon. Being patient though. He's being very patient. He's actually stockpiling stone. Looks like Bee going to look to put down a forward keep as the army heads back for Kaup, trying to make use of those longbows. Trying to get as much value as he can. Try and take those camel archers. He is one-shotting the camel archers, to be fair. He's going to head back behind the palisade gate. It looks like the horsemen are going to try and torch that down. Where is that keep coming? That's the question. He is fully population capped almost. Well, 188, pretty much there. Mangonels fire off the palisade gate. The palisade gate will go down. That wood line is going to be under attack soon. Has to transition to this west side wood line now. Pretty exposed though. Palisade gate's on fire. Now everything's going to head in forward there for B. Look at the resources. It's a little bit crazy. Look at the resources there. 4,000 food to almost 3,000 wood. 1,000 gold. I expect to see a villager pool here. Villager pool for a keep. We shall see. The units now dive in. And he's actually going to just torch down that King's Palace. And the Mangonel might just unfold. There's the keep. There it is. There's the Imperial Age as well. Kaup is going to struggle. There's no way that Kaup can push this. Not with 2 Mangonels. There's nothing that Kaup can do about the Mangonels. That's the key issue. Doesn't have any Springald capabilities here. Would need a Springald or 2. There's that keep. That's going to go in a very nice position. Relic's being picked up. And there it is. Kaup taps out. B takes another win. 3 on the trot with the Abbasid dynasty. And 3DB is looking good. He's looking good. He's looking solid here. Hope you guys enjoying these casted games. We will be moving on to the next game very shortly. Hello, Leonardo. Welcome in the chat. How are you doing, mate? Hope you're doing okay. We're watching some very, very good games for 3DB. I'm just going to go back onto the Be Right Back screen just so I don't spoil the results of the next game. But it looks like 3DB is in a very strong position. GG's. Hope you're doing well, Leo. I'm doing very well myself. Thank you. Oh, sorry, 1 second. I just noticed I was muted there for some reason. I hope I wasn't muted there for so long. That's a bit awkward. I think when I change overlay screens, maybe it makes me muted. Anyway, sorry about that. Disgustipated. Hope you're doing well. I'm enjoying a few videos of yours recently. Thought I'd drop by. Thank you for dropping by. Hope you're enjoying these casted games. And Leo, welcome. I'm not sure if I was muted at that point. Apologies for that. Hope you're doing well, Leo. I'm doing well, thanks. Bob, GG's indeed. That was a good game. Good game. Yes, I'm watching. So if you're just joining the stream, I'm casting some of the games for 3DB. As you will know, I'm sure most of you will know, he has been banned from the Red Bull Wololo Legacy main event, and because of that, he's looking now to stream his games live. He's actually streaming on Twitch live with 2 cameras, one on the front, like showing him, and one at the back of his room showing his computer screen. So there shouldn't really be any allegations of cheating from his grinding on the ladder, and he's just kind of out to prove a point, really. And you know what? He's beating a lot of the players. I mean, I've not handpicked. I'm literally going in order of the games he's played on the ladder. You know, he's beaten Kasva today. He's beaten Lenok. He's just beaten Kalp. I don't know who Bin is, B-I-N. I'm not sure who it is, but it must be a relatively highly ranked player. As we head into game number 4. And it's going to be Roos Mirror. This is interesting. There's been a couple of discussions about his scouting and how he scouts with the Roos. I'm going to head into a Roos Mirror on high view. Alright. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Hope you enjoy these casted games. I'm going to be enjoying this one, that's for sure. Let's get cracking, guys. Let's get cracking in this game. Alright, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another casted game for 3DB. We're doing bee watching. Hope you guys got your binoculars out. We're going to have to keep an eye on where that honey is being produced, because we've got 3DB playing on the east side of the map. Actually, bees playing on the west side. Clearly, my binoculars need changing because they're not working very well. On the west side of the map, we've got 3DB playing in orange as the Roos. And on the east side, on high view, we've got his opponent today in pink. Goes by the name Bin. Also playing as the Roos. It's a Roos mirror match. We're actually going to switch to B's position point of view. We're going to fix the camera on him for a bit. Take a look at his scouting pattern. Got one scout for now. Probably looking to get a second scout from the hunting cabin. Picking up a sheep there on the west side, of course. Get another scout from the hunting cabin. I haven't seen a Roos mirror in a very long time though, so it'll be an interesting matchup. Does have 2 wolves there, which is kind of nice. Looks like he's getting wheelbarrow. He is indeed. I think so. No, he's getting another scout. Getting a third scout from the hunting cabin. Okay, did a little bit of a TC hopping trick there, you may have seen. He actually garrisoned that scout inside the town centre. Pressed F, and then hopped out the other side. Saves a bit of time. It's a 3 scout play here for B. Right. So he's managing to pick up some good bounty, which is pretty good. Should be able to get a good amount of bounty in, and when he does, he's also getting wheelbarrow. Nice early build there for wheelbarrow. And then we'll be able to afford enough for the age up. It's going to be getting tier 2 soon, if you get the feeling. He keeps up with the scouting he's getting so far. But looking good there. A couple of walls being brought in by Bin. Let's see what Bin's up to. Bin's also getting wheelbarrow. Similar sort of build. It's actually ahead on the bounty system. Actually got quite a few more bounties. Going to be unlocking tier 2 very soon, especially once he gets rid of these walls. Oh, he might not. He needs to keep the scout close to the town centre. He needs to be careful not to lose that scout though. Lost a lot of HP. The scouts don't regenerate HP as they once used to on older patches, and there is that tier 2 unlocked there for Bin. Tier 1 still for B. Going to be going up with the... he's going to have to go... Wait, hang on a minute. He's going to struggle for food here. Doesn't have sheep underneath the town centre. I was going to go up with the Golden Gate, as expected, building it with 6 villagers. Mighty. Interesting to see how this has played out as a Roos mirror on high view. Will we see 2 town centre plays, boar play? Probably like to see some boars being taken up. Speaking of which, where are those boars? That's pretty key detail we should know on high view. There's a boar here on the east side. There he is, hiding there in the stealth. Where's the second one? That's the question. Try and have a look at it on the minimap. There it is there. Both on the east side, kind of a bit more favourable to B, has to be said. A bit rough there for Bin. I expect it's going to be the Golden Gate for Bin as well. It is indeed. Bin's going to be a bit further behind to that age up. He's investing in that wooden fortress now. Will be boosting the amount of wood coming into that lumber camp by 20%. Be itching towards that second tier. Not there yet though. Probably needs to kill a few more sheep and he'll get there. There's that age up. What will he drop? He does get that 250 bounty now. What will he end up doing? He's going quite heavy on wood. I think B's looking for a second town centre. He's probably going to use the Golden Gate to buy 2 piles of stone. We need a bit more gold to do so. Once he does do that, he'll be able to get 2 tickets of stone and then drop that second town centre. He's likely to go for that boar, I suspect. Where is that ball? There it is, there it is. Now, just going around for B just to see what's up. B is actually kind of far away from that age up. Getting there almost at the 5-minute mark. B has enough wood now. He just needs to buy the tickets for the stone. Sending the villagers forward now, 10 of them. And B will be very comfortable with this situation. Look at what he's doing. He's actually bringing the boar closer to the deer. This is such a crazy town centre spot. Look at this. Deer, berries, boar. What more could you want? Might lose his scout though if he's not careful. Scout will survive. It's actually pulling away the 2 scouts for Bin. There is a weak villager there. Needs to be careful. Might lose one here, B. He's actually going to surround and turn taking the scouts. Does have a couple of weak villagers there. Will he just try and get the town centre up? That's the question. 3 scouts there. That's going to be a bit of an issue. He's going to try and fight this. I think he's got a surround on. No, he hasn't. The scouts escape. Escape for now, but it's going to constantly harass. Going to try and delay that second town centre going up. What do we see Bin up to? He's going to go for a second town centre himself. Probably will to react. Going quite heavy on the wood. In fact, no, he's going to go for a stable on knights. He's going to go for knights. Try and deny this if he can. Don't think the knight will come out in time though. Doesn't look like B's lost any villagers just yet. Let's just check. He brought 10 out. Still has 10 there. Now center goes up in a very, very nice spot. There's a boar. There's deer. What more could you want? There's deer pretty close. There's berries rather. Pretty close by. We'll see a knight come out now. An early knight. Bin will want trying to get some value here. Wooden fortress going up. I'm not sure about this knight player because the trouble is that you can't really raid too much. The wood is being taken here. The food is being taken here. Both very, very well protected. You've got the static defenses in the form of the town centre and the wooden fortress. I don't think this knight's going to get too much value. I hope that Bin doesn't continue to produce them. Instead, he's probably going to need to opt for a second town centre himself. He's getting the gold so he can trade for the stone, I suspect. Used 1 ticket already. He's going to opt for... Yeah, he's going to get a second ticket. He's actually going to get that from the hunting cabin, that gold. 34 gold per minute. Not a bad hunting cabin. 37 for B. Just edges it slightly. Going to get a town centre on the deer. But look at this. B going to be annoying here. He's going to try and deny the second town centre placement. Well, you can't really, but... That said, it does go down. Bit surprised not to see it against the wood line, but it is what it is. What will be will be. 2 stables going down for B. Now he's going to look to try and pile on the pressure with knights of his own. This could become a really interesting feudal age knight push for both players. The Knight War. Question is, B has got quite a few villagers on wood. It could be the case that he's going to be putting down some archery ranges. We shall see whether he decides to go for a 3rd town centre. Will he be greedy? That's the question. Have to keep an eye on how he spends that wood. Let's take a look at the village count now then. 32 for B, 26. That's quite a lead. That is a huge lead, guys. It's 10 villagers. I mean, well, actually, no, take that back. That's 7 villagers. So that's a large lead at this stage of the game. Triple stable knights. I mean, that's pretty expensive. He's not going to be able to afford that. He needs a lot more villagers on gold if he's going to manage that, and food. I'm a bit skeptical about the 3rd stable placement so early. We'll see what it decides to do. Now goes towards the gold. Going to be getting a blacksmith as well for some upgrades. Will that be transitioning to that gold to produce from those 2 stables? Yeah, there's 2 stables production really here for Bin at this moment in time. As the village count does rise, he will be looking to get production from all 3, I suspect. There are 2 knights there for Bin. It's not really a fight that B can take. He's taking a lot of damage. 2 charge attacks. Nice start there for Bin for the engagements. The knight heads in there for B, tries to get some value. Loses a lot of HP to that town centre there. Got a lot of wood here, would be. I wonder what his plans are for that wood. Could it be archery ranges? It's going to be barracks instead. I think it's going to be a 3rd town centre. He just bought some stone, used some tickets. He's going to go for the second ball. And there's going to be so much food here for B. Going to get that 3rd town centre. B is certainly strong in the macro play, which is not something he's been known for in the past, you know. He's been known for his hyper-aggressive strategies. But really, he's going for quite strong macro play today. Especially playing as the Abbasid dynasty. Now it's playing it as a Rus. Look at that third town center. He's already heading villagers 43 to 36. And that villager lead is going to build up. It's in the stealth forest. So it might be the case that Bin doesn't even notice. Does take out that knight. The wood, the gold vein is pretty exposed there for B. Might need to pull those villagers back before losing some. The knights start to charge. Won't get any value though. Villagers are pulled back. Don't forget it's got wheelbarrows. So the villagers do have a decent amount of movement speed. It's going to be knights and spears. And I do love that army composition. Yes, the triple stable really here from Bin. Be looking strong here. Taking engagement here, charge attack, 3 knights versus 4. Bin will take that fight. B was quite happy to take the charge attack, does lose a knight though. Spears are heading into the fight as well. This is where the key difference is. The spears will do a lot of damage there for B. He micros that nicely. This is not an engagement that Bin can take. He cannot fight this, not with spears in the play. He's going to need to drop some archery ranges. Will he react to do so? Will he get some spears of his own? He can either go like for like, but the problem if he does that is just kind of reacting always. It's always going to be one step behind if he does that. He needs something to really shake the game up at the moment. There's 3 town centers now for B. 50 villagers to 49. And that lead is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. There's a spearman head forward there for B. Heading towards that stealth forest. Good charge attack for Bin. Bin is taking the better fights in terms of knights versus knights. But you worry for Bin with the number of spears that are coming out. Still no other production building. Bin is going full scale. Oh, I take that back. Getting 2 barracks himself. So yeah, this is an issue. He is adapting. He is reacting to what he sees. But he's always going to be one step behind. The spearman numbers here looking pretty healthy for B. And double archery range coming out for B. Going for what we call an AI army. Getting units of every type. That's going to be pretty decent because if you can kite down those spears, that'll let the knights do the work for B. Scout there for B, under pressure, being charged by a lot of knights. But that's quite nice for B. He's dragging those knights away again, just delaying the game as much as possible. He knows he's on 3 town centers, and he's probably suspecting that his opponent is only on 2. That will mean that B will be comfortable just delaying the game, getting the eco advantage, and then build into army from there. Look at this. That one scout is literally dragging out all those knights. Scout does lose his life, but it was certainly worth it. 11 knights, 1 scout dragged to that position just because that 1 scout. This bought so much time for B. Knights heading down the south. I think he suspects something's up with the boar. He's going to see that 3rd town centre. There's probably going to be wondering what to do now because he's going to be very far behind the villagers. 20 villager lead for B. Got army there to protect as well. And a couple of knights going to be raiding on that berry patch. A lot of villagers going to go down. Charge attack takes at least 4 or 5 villagers. And the villager count wasn't looking great for Bin already. And now it's going to lose more on the gold vein. Great value for these knights. The knights will go down to the spears, but B won't. Well, actually, no, B will just micro that back and takes the knights away. But he gets so much value. Bin looking to try and get some value himself. But look at the wooden fortresses there for defense. The villagers will garrison inside. Not a single villager lost. That's the key difference. The static defenses are there for B. And they weren't there for Bin. Looks like Bin is going to try and rush that down, take that down. But look at this. The armor coming in play here for B. Won't be able to take that position there, Bin. As much as he tries, the army here looking stronger for B. Let's take a look at the military count. 40 for B, 20 for Bin. That's because of the villager lead and the eco upgrades coming in as well. Horticulture, forestry. Also looking to get textiles, make those villagers a bit more tankier. But Bin really is going to need something special here. Going to need a big fight. Spears heading forward. This could be a big engagement in the stealth forest. Bin needs to be careful not to rush into those spears. But we can see very high numbers of population here for B in the feudal age. In every single game he's really committed to the feudal age. He likes the feudal age of civilizations. Showcasing the Abbasid dynasty and the Rus for us today. Oh, he's going to go for the berries. Now, there is the static defense there for Bin, so that's one thing working out for him. But there's not enough space there. There are 18 villagers. Only 8 of them will fit in that wooden fortress. Villagers are going to go down. They're going to try and run away. Oh, the knights kind of miss out on the opportunity there. The knights coming for Bin. They're going to try and take down the archers. The spears on hand. Now, this is a concern for Bin. He's been pushed off those resources. The spears engage on the knights, and B microing that nicely. Ooh, Bin taking the engagement on the knights though. B pulls back on his knights, gets the charge attack. That's a better micro there for B, that's for sure. The spears engage with the knights for Bin. This could be the GG. Bin's going to lose everything here. The knights engage with the spearmen. That's not what Bin wanted. And the knights for B did not engage against the spears that Bin had. And because of that, Bin taps out. B takes the victory on the Roost Mirror on high view. The macro approach looking strong here for B, and he takes this win pretty comfortably in the end. And I hope you guys are enjoying this casted games, because we're going to be moving on to more, that's for sure. Stick around, fellas. We've got plenty more coming your way. Oh, that was a good game, guys. Very, very happy that way. I'm enjoying all the field play in the current patch. Yeah, Bob, you know, I am too. Do you know what? I used to play a lot like that, and I'm looking forward to joining the ranked ladder again a bit. Definitely going to be taking some inspiration from B's play here. Okay, I'm going to quickly go back to the Be Right Back screen. As you guys know, if you actually pull up a player's profile and you go to the replays, you can see the results. You can see if they won or lost. And obviously I don't want to spoil that for you all, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, again, I don't know why the chat got muted, or the OBS got muted there, but welcome, Addis. Hope you're doing well. Yep, Bin is, I can expect that. I mean, it was a different skill, right? Yeah, you could tell there was a bit of a difference in the skill level there. But I mean, the games before this, B's been pretty strong against Linok, against Kazva, against Kalp. Hope you're doing well, Madis. We had a chat earlier, Tadeus and Jen out. Put his head on a pike. Stop the drama finally, please. There is literally a gazillion numbers more important game features which should be getting attention of the community, not some Russian outlaw. I mean, it's not so much. I mean, I'm just looking at his games. I'm just casting his games. I mean, we don't get to see 3DB's games. For me personally, when it came to the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy, my favorite moments were the actual ability to cast 3DB's games, because he never really played ladder. So I'm super excited that he's playing ladder games now. We get to see more of his gameplay. So I'm not really focusing on the drama. I'm focusing on the gameplay, really. It's really exciting to see B play. I think he's one of the most fun players to watch. And as well as Kazva, he's really strong to watch as well, Kazva. And they both play very similarly, well, somewhat similarly. But this game is going to be, I think this is going to be the last one for me today. I think this will be the last game. We've got Hill and Dale. Alright. Sit back, relax, enjoy, guys. I'm going to enjoy this one. It's going to be the Chinese versus the Holy Roman Empire. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another casted game. Get your binoculars out. We're on B watch because we've got B playing in the northwest corner of the map in orange as the Chinese. And his opponent today in the southeast, playing in red, is Afrasiab, also known as Kazva. I'm sure you have heard of Kazva before. He's playing in red as the Holy Roman Empire. On Hill and Dale, two interesting civilizations, I have to say. The Holy Roman Empire can be very, very strong in Hill and Dale. That is for sure. Often, you know, a lot of the pro players have been playing Hill and Dale with the Holy Roman Empire. Back for the N4C days, we saw a lot of HRE. You know, back with Beastie QT to Muslim playing HRE a lot on this map. Things have changed since then. We've had plenty of patches, with Chinese now looking pretty strong. I'm excited in the live stream today. If you're watching the VOD, then first of all, thanks for watching, and hopefully you can make it next time to the live stream. Love to engage with you guys, but if you're watching the VOD, you've seen already the games before this. We haven't seen Chinese being played by B recently, so I'll be interested to see how it plays this against the Holy Roman Empire. The Chinese are very versatile civ. They can do lots of different things. They can go for a booming approach, Song Dynasty, two-town center. They can go for Zhugnu rushes, early feudal age pressure by supervising the production buildings. With the Imperial Official, the Holy Roman Empire, I mean, they're relatively versatile as well. They do often seem to have an underrated feudal age presence, but that's just purely because of how strong their castle age is and how strong it is in terms of their speed to get there. Because don't forget, the prelate is actually bolstering the speed of the gathering speed of these villages by 40%. That is a huge amount. 40%. Could you imagine that increasing efficiency of your villages right from the get-go, right from 0 point of the game? 0 seconds and you already have 40% extra. Well, I mean, you have to have a couple of seconds for gathering resources, obviously, but, you know, right from the bat, 40% extra efficiency. And so feudal age pressure can really pay off because your economy is just going to be better. But the castle age timing is so strong for the Holy Roman Empire that we often don't see that much of a feudal age pressure, apart from maybe some horsemen to defend. And you'll see what happens here. Will it be a Barbican rush? I would love to see that from B. Barbican rushes haven't been doing all that well recently. We shall see what B decides to do. He's actually going to be killing some of the deer. Wait, that's actually Casva. Okay, he's looking to get the deer pushed in quite closely. He doesn't want maybe B to push those away. He's going to get it close to the Archon Chapel. It makes a lot more sense now. I was wondering why he was killing them. It's because Casva's building his Archon Chapel there. In a nice spot, be a nice spot to gather those deer. Also going to be able to get the sheep there influenced and the wood as well. So it does look like a pretty standard, maybe fast feudal into react into what's happening into possible castle age for the Holy Roman Empire. Of course, getting the Regnant's Cathedral in castle age could be an option to get those relics. I mean, you can get the relics anyway, but the Regnant's Cathedral obviously bolstering the gold amount that you get. It's not the Imperial Academy is the landmark of choice to start off for the Chinese being played by B. We'll be having access to another place that you can train those Imperial officials to collect that tax revenue. And don't forget, all the buildings in the influence of that Imperial Academy will generate 100% more tax gold. It actually has that mining camp in that range as well, and the lumber camp. Doesn't quite have the mill though. But we'll be probably placing a mill here for the deer as the game wears on. There is that feudal age time now for Casva, going pretty quickly though. 4 minutes, holy smokes, that is fast. He actually committed to a lot of villages on that. That's partly because he needed that as a drop-off point for the wood. Not the most efficient wood gathering here though, with these couple of villages. Oh, look at this, he's going to go for stone. So it might be a second town centre. We can see this for the Holy Roman Empire coming out more often. The economy looking strong, and he's actually going to build on that in the feudal age with the second town centre. He's probably expecting the Chinese to be relatively boomy here. We shall see what 3DB does about this. Does he decide to match this in terms of an economy boom, or does he try to be aggressive? 8 villages on stone there, so certainly we're looking to get that second town centre quite fast. Well, this could be quite a nice position for that town centre on the 2 golds and the wood line. We need some protection there in case he's pushed off. It is at the back of his base though, so it should be relatively safe. Looks like B might be actually pushing in the deer towards his town. No, he's gonna push them together and drop a mill, I suspect. Quite heavy on wood though, so yeah, there will be second town centre for sure there for Casva. Alright, 4 villagers get pulled off of that gold mine. Coming towards the wood line, maybe. Let's see what they do. They're actually garrisoned inside the town centre for now. Now there they are. They popped out. He's going to go for stone. So it's going to be a 2 town centre play. We shall see. It's looking like he's going to go for the Song Dynasty as well with the Barbican. The question is, where does he place that Barbican? He might want to place it around there because he does have a forward gold vein. That's 8,000 gold there. And he'll want to protect those berries as well for quite some time. Be interesting to see where he decides to put the Barbican. Has the resources for it now. There it is. 6 villagers coming out. It is going to be on the front lines there, in front of the stone. Offers him a lot of protection there. Back at home for Casva. Quite a few villagers on wood still, 12 of them. Getting that second town centre now. And the berries and the gold. So it'll be Song Dynasty opening into 2 town centers for the Chinese, and just a straight up 2 town center build for the Holy Roman Empire today. So no fast castle shenanigans. It will be an extended feud later for both players. There's that stable going down for the Holy Roman Empire. We're looking to get some map control, some vision with some horsemen. Song Dynasty has been activated. Got half the amount of stone he needs. 4 villagers, 3 more being added. And has 4 imperial officials here. Be looking to collect that gold, supervising the wood, supervising the stone, supervising the mill, and 1 to collect the gold. Oh, looks like Kaz was looking to wall up. Does have access to that berries by putting the palisades in front. Walling up quite extensively. I like what he's doing here, walling to the wood line instead of across. Keeps the berries in place. He's going to be getting the deers as well. Has a good access to the wood line there as well. Wood could become an issue. On the new Hill and Dale map spawn, you only have 2 wood lines, 1 major, 1 minor. 1 big, 1 small. And that can go as their game wears on. There's that second town centre. It's a second town centre Song Dynasty. Let's take a look at the villager count at the moment. 32 for B, 31 for Kasva. Double gates coming out for Kasva. It might be a race to Castle Age from here though. Because of course those relics might play a big role. Villager under attack. He needs to sort that out. Scout has made his way in for B. Looking to try and get some vital information. It's quite likely he'll see that second town centre. He hasn't spotted it yet, but needs to find out what's going on. He sees the walls, so he can probably expect some greed. It's not like a straight fast castle. He'll run into that second town centre, I suspect. And there it is. He sees that second town centre. It won't deter him too much because he knows he's on 2 town centres with the Song Dynasty himself. The villager lead started to pull away, 42 to 36. Don't forget the Song Dynasty actually reduces the production time of the villagers by 35%. That is a lot. Double barracks coming out. Take a look at this. It looks like Castle Age is on the way soon for Kasva. Having that Song Dynasty does mean you're in the feudal age for a bit longer. The eco is so strong here for the Holy Roman Empire as well, with the influence of the prelate. Do we have a prelate here as well? Yeah, we do. It's quite commonly important to do that, to have that prelate inspiring the villagers that are not near the Archon Chapel. As we now see 20 villagers looking to build that Regnus Cathedral. He's going quite heavy on that. He wants those relics now. It looks like, yeah, so it looks like B is committing to the feudal age. He wants to protect those relics, or at least deny those relics for as long as he can. He's nowhere near the Castle Age B. Not even close. Gonna be double staple. Gonna be knights coming out there for Kasva, you suspect. Does he drop that? Or is he just gonna start getting the prelates? Yeah, oh my god. Did you just pick like all the relics up? You heard that, right guys? You just heard like a bunch of relics being picked up. I don't even see them on the map anymore. Let's take a look at his point of view. There's 1 relic being pulled in there, another one. Another one there. Already picking up 2 to 3 relics. That is hugely significant, guys. Getting 2 relics is huge. Getting a 3rd one as well. It's got it within the palisade walls. 1 more here on the west side. There's not much to deny here for B anymore. He's lost the relics already. Only 11 minutes into the game now. More prelates will be coming out. Oh, the scout does go down for B. Won't have that scouting intel anymore. And once that those relics do get dropped off, that gold income is going to be pretty big there for B. For Kasva rather, not B. B starts to wall up. Gonna have to boom hard because he's going to be behind. 63 villages though, that's an extensive lead. Almost 13 villagers also. 3 relics in that Regulus Cathedral. Holy moly. Gonna be a lot of gold. Do you see a farming transition coming out now for Kasva? Oh, something's being deleted. Not entirely sure what that was. In any case, a couple of spearmen heading out. Only a few more relics, and that is going to be protected though. B's going to be able to protect that relic. Can't quite make out where the other one is. Oh, it's there. The other relic is there, nice and safe. Okay, so it's just going to be 3 relics there for Kasva, but he's got the lion's share of it. There's the castle age for B. Looks like Kasva is opting to save up for a keep. Looking to get the sacred sites now, but there are spearmen on the field, so might not be able to manage it. We shall see. Could be palace guards. Yeah, it's going to be palace guards. An easy switch there because there are 2 barracks. Might even look to supervise. We shall see. He's getting a monastery of his own, looking to pick up those 2 relics that he has. Or kind of not has, but has protected. Central sacred site won't be taken. Yeah. Relic will be heading home. Does have access to the sacred site on the right side though. That'll be a lot of gold coming in for Kasva. Look at that. 600 gold plus the sacred site. 700 gold per minute. Just passively coming in. But the villager lead looking very strong here for B. Wait a minute. Kasva going to the Imperial Age. Going to be looking to get that Palace of Swabia. I suspect that is indeed the case. So that villager lead is not going to count for too much for too long. That's the question. That's the issue rather, because yep, the one thing is to be brought into consideration is that sure, Kasva will actually equalize that villager difference, but B has had so much time having more villagers, gathering those resources. So B will be absolutely swimming in resources. That's a lot of villagers on wood, guys. That's a lot of villagers on wood. Look at the gold income here. And keeping a forward position offers a lot of protection there for Kasva. There's the Palace of Swabia, the printer. We'll keep an eye on the villager lead. 87 for B, 64. We'll keep an eye on that as the game wears on. We'll see how that narrows as the Palace of Swabia does its business. As we see a couple of palace guards coming forward for B, looking to try and put some pressure. He notices the keep now, loses 1 palace guard. A couple of knights there on the field for Kasva, looking to try and cause a bit of pressure there. Keeps the scout there as well. Oh no, that's actually wait, yeah. He keeps the scout there because the vision for the knights aren't that strong. Oh, that's not good for Kasva. He's going to run into those spears. The spears brace, and they're going to take that out. And Kasva too late to respond. He's going to throw away 2 knights for free. But the farming transition nicely in for B. Look at that. You get the feeling we could be in for a long one here, ladies and gents. On Hill and Dale. 2 very turtle-type civs. Ooh, a lot of barracks going down. Looks like it's going to be Man-at-Arms and maybe Landsknecht coming out for the Holy Roman Empire. Played by Kasva. Their Landsknecht can be incredibly difficult to deal with. Especially without ranged units. We shall see how B decides to fight that off. Maybe with Zhuganu. That could be quite a useful counter. The first of 2 relics being brought in. You get the sacred site on the west as well. Trebuchet coming out for B, looking to pile on the pressure in the castle age. Going to be trying to get that keep down if you can, but there's a relic deposited in there. Now, if you're wondering, why would you deposit a relic in the keep? Well, it's because it does this. It increases the armor by 50%, increases the damage by 35%. The sight range is increased by 25%, weapon range is increased by 20%. And it still gives you that 100 gold a minute. He's just sending that trebuchet forward, not much military accompanying it. Has a bit of military dotted around the map though. The right side of sacred site has been neutralized. Kasva no longer has that in his possession. As the second relic comes back for the Chinese, setting himself up for the late game. Getting a couple of Nesta Bees to join the ranks as well. Both players are going to slowly have to make their way into the mid-map for those resources. There's an outpost there for Casva. Has to pull those villagers away though. And try and get that stone there. But B's putting on the pressure. He does have more military on the field. 50 military for B. 12 military for Casva. The villager lead is narrowed. 100 each now, really. We said we'll keep an eye on it, and we have. Alisar's going to rush in. Going to take a couple of villagers there. The villagers caught out. Casva not reacting. Casva going to lose villagers here. I mean, do you know what though? The thing is about the Holy Roman Empire, you lose villagers, it's not really the end of the world. You got the Palace of Swabia, you're doing alright. You kind of have to have a slow, strong push here. Take out the infrastructure if you're playing against the Holy Roman Empire, because taking out villagers is not going to be enough. Before too long, those villagers pop out again. They reproduce like no other. Is the trebuchet going to be firing those boulders? Trouble is that keeper's going to be extra tanky because of the relic that's garrisoned inside. But will we see Imperial Age coming in for B soon? Probably looks like it. Question is, what is the army coming out for Casva rather? That's the key issue. He's going for Man-at-Arms. Just Castle Age Man-at-Arms just at the moment doesn't have the elite upgrade, doesn't have enough gold. Wouldn't you believe? Holy Roman Empire struggling on gold. The concern for Casva, he's given up a lot of map control, guys. That's the key issue. 3 sacred sites in control for B. He's given up a lot of map control. Well, Casva looking to get a sacred keep here on the west side though, but doesn't have the military to protect it. That's the key issue. Might be able to get the ball, but this is looking a little bit tricky for Casva. And it's because of map control. Don't underestimate the power of map control, because we've got forward gold here that Casva can no longer take. Not easily, anyway. Once this gold runs out, where else does he get gold from, exactly? Whereas B, look at this. He's got plenty of gold. He's got absolutely plenty of gold that he can take. I think we see... What do we see there? I heard a bombard. It would have to have been for Casva, I suspect. No, it wasn't a bombard. I take it back. It was a culverin. He's getting a culverin. But look at that. The sacred site timer has been activated. No, it hasn't. Sorry, I take it back. Sorry. Getting a town centre on that position. Oh, this is key, guys, because you will remember that the emergency repairs is guided by your town centre placement. So this keep, even if it does come under pressure, it will have access to emergency repairs. So B will have quite the task ahead of him to try and get rid of that. We'll need a lot of siege. That will buy some time for Casva. That might buy some time for him to get his upgrades. He's getting his elite man-at-arms upgrades now. Kind of concerned for him is that there are plenty of crossbow there for B. He needs to get the elite upgrades for them though. Jeez now. Also getting Damascus steel. Where is the elite upgrade? We need the elite upgrade for B. It's going to be up against Man-at-Arms. Here the Man-at-Arms come forward with a culverin and going to start to try and torch down that keep there for B. Does have an Nesta Bees. Just one though. B needs to do something about that. Casva's actually managed to break away into the mid-map. I was kind of not expecting that. There's quite a few crossbows. Not enough to one-shot the Man-at-Arms though. The spear's going to head in. A couple of palace guards. A couple of monks there for the Chinese B, but the keep will go down. Just get a feeling there aren't enough crossbows, but having said that, the Nesta Bees get a good fire off at that, and there's going to be a keep being placed down by Casva, going to solidify that position. Give him a bit of map control back. He needs that. He'll need access to the gold, but this is a good fight for B. And it's because of the crossbows. The crossbows are getting huge amounts of value. The crossbows are not taken down, but there are 2 Man-at-Arms starting to focus on them. But the Nesta Bees gets taken down, does a lot of damage beforehand though, and the army is really starting to dwindle here. Ming Dynasty coming in for B, and that unlocks something very special. It means that military units gain 10% extra health, and it unlocks the Grenadier. The unit's going to be pretty tanky there for B. 35 military to 26. The villager count looking stronger here for Casva now. Casva taking that villager lead because, of course, of that Palace of Swabia. On the right side, we see a keep being dropped there. We didn't even see that with B, denying quite a bit of space there on the right side, denying that gold. This is the key issue. 8,000 gold here. That could become a problem for the Holy Roman Empire. Sure, he has 3 relics, but B has so much gold on the map he can take. I think B probably needs to clear this up if he wants to try and start getting more of the map control again. Went up with the Great Wall Gatehouse. Going with the Imperial Palace now. That often will give so much vision. Let's take a look at the vision on that thing. Look at the vision that Imperial Palace gives us. A little bit crazy, guys. Holy smokes. Actually crazy. Could also get spies, of course, to see where those pesky villages are. As the man-at-arms go around the right side, but it's all stone walled there for B. A lot of economy here. Look, another 8,000 gold vein. He just has so much control of the map here. That could potentially be what gives him the win here. Obviously, a long way to go in this game. I suspect this game probably isn't going to end anytime soon. Oh, on the west side, a couple of palace guards going to be heading around the west side on that gold vein. And again, Kasva being pushed off gold. B has 2,000 gold in the bank, only 1,000 for Kasva. Elite man-at-arms. Oh, Kasva trying to get a sneaky keep there. Won't happen. Oh, what's going on here? Man-at-arms going to head back to try and save those villagers. Or will do, though. It will. Man-at-arms will clear this up. Crossbows needed some meat shield in front. Didn't have them. This does give a window of opportunity for B to pressurize on the west side. Needs siege, though. There's a cannon emplacements on this keep. Going to try and torch this down with the elite fire lancer. Elite fire lancers, you love to see it. Wait, what's he doing? B, he's going to just rush in. What is going on? He's going to go for the villagers. He wants to take out the economy. He knows there's a keep there. Just wants to take out the villagers to stop them gathering resources. And Kazva's not reacting. He's going to lose villagers here. That's pretty awkward. Oh, that's smart. I see what B's doing here. He has to take down the town centre because, of course, of the emergency repairs. If he starts trying to take down the keep, there's no way, because, of course, the emergency repairs will be activated. There's a trebuchet on the front line. Looking to take down those outposts. They do have bombard emplacements. There is a culver in there, though, so B will have to be careful about that. Now, with the town centre down, it makes it a bit easier to take out the keep. He's going to torch it down. Who needs siege when you can just torch things down? Especially with elite fire lancers. Trebuchet continues to fire off. We'll be taking that outpost down. The Culverin heading forward, though. The Culverin might snipe that Trebuchet. Takes the health off that. Enough to two-shot it. The Trebuchet goes down. And the, oh my god, the keep is going down. It's on fire, but the man-at-arms coming to the rescue somewhat. Looks like B will take that out, but at what cost? He lost a lot of units there, you feel. There's the elite fire lancers getting involved in the action, but a lot of man-at-arms versus palace guard action. Oh, we see more charging there. They're lance connected. That is not a position that B wants to be in. He has to pull those villagers out. Those lance connected are going to rip through them. They cause area effect damage. Look at that. Look at that one lance. The lance connected just took out like 5 villages. It's a ridiculous amount of value those lance connected get from the area effect damage. And B lost a lot of villagers there. 118 versus 152. The issue for B is that, okay, he'll get this keep up in a nice position. The Chinese build super fast. The thing is, Kasva's got so many more villagers, he's going to build up a really big bank of resources. And if you're Kasva, you just kind of need to stall the game out, because if you can just eat up as much of the resources as you can on the map, and then delete some villagers to maximize your army population, that could be a win condition way back into the game. You'll need something, because he is pegged back quite a bit. Doesn't have the map control, hasn't had the map control for the vast majority of the game. And the army's been taken out again. You just get the feeling that Kasva doesn't have enough army. He's got so many villagers. And the army for B, he's just rushing everything in. He doesn't care. He's got the keep there to protect anyway. He's got the boiling oil there. Kasva losing a lot of units there for free, really. Nice bombard tower there going for Kasva. That'll have to be dealt with by B, because quite a few resources there. He was looking to get the deer and the stone pile there being protected by that keep, or that tower rather. And the keep is going to be offering protection for those stone villagers. There is boiling oil. Those spears are going to head in. But the keep going to do great work against this. This is not a good trade here for Kasva. He's rushing units in. Archer range is coming out. Looks like it's going to be crossbows more on the field there for B. He's doubling down. He's getting production buildings on the front line. So is Kasva. He's doubling down on the barracks. Has a trebuchet. Repairing that keep. That trebuchet. Another trebuchet comes out to try and take that keep down. This is where the big fight is here. But it feels like B just has more military on the field. Yep, B has 62 military. Oh, Kasva's building up again. He must have deleted some villages to make way for population space for the army. And he just kind of wanting to see the Lance Connector come out for Casvo. Not coming out just yet. He's fighting underneath the keep. I just don't know how I feel about that. It's a bit iffy. He needs to take that keep down. He could potentially get this Western Sacred Site. Drops down a lot of archery ranges. It's going to be Grenadiers. B, bringing back the Grenadiers. I haven't seen Grenadiers in 1v1 play in, I don't know, months. B is bringing it back. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, we love watching 3DB. Pulls out these crazy strategies, starts producing units that we haven't seen in a long time. But of course, the Grenadiers were nerfed pretty hard in one of the most recent patches. B doesn't care. Gunpowder, Grenadiers, he wants them. He's going to get them. A lot of spears here for Casva, and I just get the feeling he's doing that because he's running out of gold. Of course, he doesn't have an infinite source of gold, so he does have good passive gold coming in, though. I mean, it is technically infinite, to be fair, with the relics. It does have 3 versus 2, especially with the Regnus Cathedral bonus is pretty decent, but there's plenty of gold there to sustain B for now on the map. Especially that map is under his control, he's going to head forward. And this is a problem for B if he doesn't take care of these Lance Connector, because Lance Connector will turn the tide of the fight, but the numbers here looking good for B. He's fighting underneath the keep though. That's less than ideal. Kazza should be able to hold the keep coming into clutch. That keep is under pressure here for B, but he's going to come in with another batch of Fire Lancers, 12 of them. Look to snipe some of those trebuchets if he can. The spears are going to act in really good countering for those Fire Lancers as they head into that stone pile. Villagers, oh my god, they absolutely melt those Fire Lancers. A little bit disgusting, actually. Do you know what I'd love to see a matchup of? Fire Lancers versus Lance Connect. That'd be a cool fight. The concern for Kazva, though, is that if he loses his position, there's a lot of production buildings here. There's not a lot of room. Oh, there's quite a bit of room to expand to. That Palace of Swarbear, nice farming economy. Holy moly. Let's take a look at B. Oh my god. Okay, I thought Kazva had nice farming. Check that out. Economy set up very nicely. Let's focus on the fight, because that's where the action is. In the middle here, we see a horseman switch here for the Holy Roman Empire. The Grenadiers getting good value. Grenadiers with Palace Guards in front with the Elite Fire Lancers. 2 Dynasty units being used at the same time. Pretty cool to see. Trebuchet goes down. 2 keeps there, still alive with the Bombard in placement. Kazva's struggling to push us back. It just doesn't feel like Kazva has the units in terms of siege. Doesn't actually have any Bombards. I don't think I've seen a single Bombard from Kazva. He's had some Culverins and be quite happy just to fight here. Looks like B is going to be pushed back though somewhat. Oh, there we are. There are the Bombards behind the walls. There's one. I mean, there are quite a few Grenadiers there. The Grenadiers do great work against buildings. Doesn't even need siege almost. Holy smokes. Everything's on fire. I think the concern if you are Kazva is that B is really starting to build up a large number of those Grenadiers. They kind of rip through buildings even. Okay, Kazva's regrouping. They're getting horsemen. Getting a couple of Lance Connector as well. Kazva needs to hold firm, but look at the resources coming in for B. He's got a huge bank of resources. I think this is going to be the beginning of the end. This is a strong push for B because it's not just the engagement that's being taken here. It's the ability to replenish. And Kazva doesn't have that ability to replenish units, but there are Lance Connector there. The Lance Connector will rip through this. This is actually a problem for B. He's trapped. Grenadier's getting good value. This could be going either way. Grenadier's getting good value, but they need a bit of a meat shield in front, and he's fighting underneath the keep. Sacred Site on the west side does get taken there for B, so we'll activate that timer. There's boiling oil as well. But B managing to hold on. A lot of Grenadiers still staying alive. He's starting to pull his Grenadiers back. Probably a wise choice, doesn't want to waste them. Expensive units, those guys. behind this. The fire lancers clearing up. And this is what we talked about. A lot of the production buildings are on the front lines for Kasva. It means his ability to replenish that army is somewhat reduced. As you can see, he's not population capped. He's had to switch the production buildings out the back of his base now. And he's chopped through here. Does have a defensive keep, needs that. Could turn into a wood game. Yeah, the trouble is Kasva is going to struggle for wood. He's walled himself here, and he's walled himself out of the wood. And on the east, there's not that much wood left. B obviously has huge amounts of map control. Certainly piling the pressure. Let's focus in the middle because that's where the action is mostly happening. Emergency repairs coming for that keep. This keep is so stubborn. The Holy Roman Empire is so hard to push at times. Going to take a lot more siege than the one trebuchet here. Could be grenadiers. Could just use grenadiers. They're a siege unit, right? Grenadiers just watching and waiting, holding on. They're in spread formation, as you can see. I think they're going to head in. I think the Grenadiers are going to head in. He's going to look to do some eco damage. The villagers have to be pulled. Idled eco. The food count looking dreadfully low for Kasva. That is a big problem. A lot of his economy does rely on food here. Especially the horsemen. And the Grenadiers are going to camp in between the barracks. And there's no way that Kasva deals with that. How is he going to deal with that? The Grenadiers damaging the production buildings as well again. And Kasva's struggling here. He needs to deal with the massive Grenadiers somehow. Behind this, the keep is being under siege the whole time. And behind that, he's getting fire lancers as well. The Grenadiers here in a bit of a death ball. Slowly being taken down, but at what cost? A lot of resources being drained into this fight. Kasva doesn't have enough food as it is. Sure, the Grenadier numbers are dwindling, but at what cost? And the push looking stronger now. The walls have been breached. The fire lancers head in. They're causing eco damage, and that's the concern because once the eco is under pressure, it's hard to really build up the army from there. The Grenadier is going to dive underneath that Palace of Swabia. Going to just destroy the farms. Holy smokes, the farms absolutely burn the fire quickly. The keep is still damn alive for the blooming emergency repairs. So frustrating, that tech. But B won't mind. He's inside the base, causing all sorts of turmoil, taking the farms out, and that's a big problem. Kasva, not only does he have an idle economy, his farms are being ripped apart. He doesn't even have the wood to replenish them. Got 600 odd, but it'll take a long time for those farms to be built again. Grenadier numbers have been sacrificed. There are not that many left, but the damage output was huge. Certainly worth it. Oh, something happening on the right side. Oh, looks like B was looking to see what value you could get on the right side. There's a lot of stone, or gold rather, being collected there. There might be a way out. Looks like it's Elite Knights. That's what Kasva's checked into here. Elite Knights. Going for horsemen. The trouble is for Kasva, he can't even go for a landmark snipe because there's about 10 of them for the Chinese. There's no way. Looks like Kasva's going to try and stonewall now. He's trying to. He's going to get a lot of villagers to rush it up. Yeah, he certainly needs to protect his economy. Well, Kasva is stabilized somewhat, but look at the food and gold for B. That's a little bit horrendous. Well, Kasva gets a keep there on that right side. I'm sure achieves too much though. Denies the wood though. That could be an issue. There's plenty of wood for B. Plenty of wood. Don't forget the sacred site timer has been activated. I didn't actually see at what time that was. But we're quite well underway for that, I suspect. Oh no, I take the back. Sacred site there was decapped on the right side. I was just about to say. Not like more than 10 minutes. Palace guards rushing in now. Trebuchet actually focusing on the right side rather than the keep. It turns back its attention to that keep. But Kasva just constantly having to put out fires, quite literally, because those farms are under fire. They're burning. The crop yield is not going to be good for those farms, and it keeps getting decent value because B's having to invest in units just to take this down. But the keeper's on fire, so he could just back off here and just let it burn to the ground. But again, Kasva's still getting quite a decent amount of gold income coming in. But not as much as B, that's for sure. 8,000 gold in the bank. As we can see, farms being seeded again. That just takes a lot of time, a lot of wood investment. There's nothing here coming for wood. We need to take a look at the wood situation here for Kasva. Starting to dwindle. Elite Spearmen and Grenadiers. 36 minutes into the game. I think we're all going to need a break after this one. Fire Lancers heading towards that keep. Could be denying the wood villagers a little bit. And there's going to be massive raiding here. This is a concern for Kasva. Getting more barracks on the right side. But if the Fire Lancers spot that, that's a lot more dead villagers. Fire Lancers going to get him through. Stone walls have been built. That's a concern. Uh-oh. Kasva doesn't have any wood income. That was Kasva's wood income. He literally has 2 villages on wood. And I think B notices it. He realizes it. He knows that's the only position for wood for Kasva. And Kasva can only survive so long without wood. He won't be able to produce spearmen. He's got 1,000 wood in the bank. Nothing more is going to send these villagers to the stealth forest. He desperately needs wood. And that keep going on the right side is going to be the static defense that goes down. That might seal the deal here. Oh, Kasva pushing forward in the middle though somewhat. Oh, looks like Kasva trying to build out. Trying to secure some more wood. Only has this patch here really. But can't really do so. That's a bit ballsy with the villagers. Because there's Fire Lancers, everything there. Yep, B is certainly focused his attention on the right. He just needs to hold in the middle here. And this is a nice play by B. He's getting the outposts. And he's going to get cannon emplacements. And that means that Kasva can't push in the central position. And we can't anyway because of the army. And B is nicely protected with stone walls and the right side. This is where the contest is now. This is where the wood is. This is the key for 3DB. The rhyme was intentional, of course. Villagers trying to build that wall. It's not happening though. As you can see, just keeping 2 Fire Lancers there, denying the walls. Lots of idle time. Kasva down to 185 population. B is at 200. And whilst Kasva does have a large number of villagers, 15 of them are idled. Fire Lancers are picking them off. Could this be the beginning of the end? 38 minutes into the game, 39. Nice keep there for Kasva though. Offers him a bit of access to gold. And wood actually. This could be a position he could take wood from. Where are these villagers going? They need to go to the wood. Palace guards flooding in on the right side. Okay, here the Lance Connect. Elite ones are coming out with spears. B trying to get an outpost there, but won't manage it. The spears on hand. Pulls the villagers back. In the centre now, big fight. Fire Lancers versus spears and horsemen. Fire Lancers just going to be taking down the keep. There's not even siege on the field here for B. He doesn't care. He's going to torch them down. It's quite satisfying, to be fair. There is boiling oil though. He's going to focus on the wood villagers. Yep, we can see it. There's clear intent here by 3DB to focus on wood. He knows that the Kasva is struggling for wood and he's struggling hard. Look at the resource bank for B. Looks like he's going to be winning this game. It's just a matter of time, you feel. The Lance Connector clearing up here though. That's going to be hard for B to push back again. But the trouble is for Kasva, his villagers having to be pulled left, right, left, right, left, right. Not even been able to gather wood securely. He's repairing that keep now though. Having to spend special, kind of very scarce stone to do so. Oh, that's a large army though for B. 68 army military elite Fire Lancers with Palace Guards in behind. Getting another keep here in the same position there. He really wants that gold, he really wants that wood. All the Fire Lancers are going to dive. Now, if you're not aware, when you torch buildings that are not built, they take more damage. So Kasva is losing a lot of HP on this building, and he knows that. He's making sure of it. He's taking advantage of that. Should be able to take this keep out. There's not enough stone to repair, you feel. Yeah, that keep might go down. Actually, no, the village is coming out to repair. We're going to spend a lot of stone to do so, though. A lot of grenadiers. Oh, that's a massive grenadiers. That's a scary, scary massive grenadiers. 25 of them. A lot of villagers being idled again. Casva has no villages on wood. And he has insufficient stone. He can't repair that anymore. Grenadiers pushing. And you get the feeling that Casva's going to tap out. And he does! 3DB winning again. I think that's like the 4th or 5th game in a row. On Hill and Dale, the Chinese triumphing over the Holy Roman Empire. B triumphing over Casva. Holy smokes, that was a long one. I think we're all going to need a break after that one. But that was a fun game to watch. GG's. Hope you guys enjoyed that casted game. That was a little bit intense, that one. Wasn't expecting that. Alright. We casted a lot of games there. I'm not sure how long I've been live for, but we had a decent set of games. I'm very happy with the casts today. And it's been really nice being on a live stream again. I know that I do a lot of offline content, you know, casting the Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy, casting random matches here and there, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. I've certainly been enjoying casting the games, and B is showing. I mean, look, if there was any doubt of his quality, I mean, I don't think we can doubt him any longer. I think we want to see him play up against the likes of the Muslim, Marine Lord, and Beastie. But he's done well so far against Lenok, Casva, and he's, you know, he has been winning good level games. I just want to see if he does actually have any more games on his replays for today. He probably won't. Let me just, I know that there's all these little botches of blue on the screen. That's on purpose, because when I pull his profile up, it will block out the results. Oh, I just realised I was on mute. I don't know how long I was on mute there for, guys. Holy smokes, I need to check out my OBS settings. I don't know why it keeps changing to mute there, but in any case, yeah, sorry guys, I don't know how much you missed then, but I've really enjoyed casting these games. I hope you've been watching them and enjoying them as well. It was definitely a nice streak there, Bob. He's beaten a lot of high-level players, but I do definitely want to see him face up against the likes of Beastie, the Muslim, Marine Lord. That's for sure. It's kind of frustrating. I don't know why the OBS just switched to mute there. It's kind of odd. In any case, I'll have to have a look into that and try and stop that from happening again. And yeah, I was just saying, I really enjoy hanging out with you guys, casting games. Enjoyed this session. I liked the cast that I did today. And if you guys ever have any feedback about my casting, do let me know. Certainly hoping to look to improve, especially because I'm thinking about casting other games as well. I do have some casted games for Crossfire Legion, an RTS game, which is not that popular at the moment, but I'm setting myself up for Stormgate. I'm hoping to do a lot of casting for Stormgate, a new RTS by Frost Giant, the company that is formed of a lot of previous StarCraft developers. So I'm super excited about that. super excited about Stormgate, not only because of the developers, but because of the plans involved so far. I do have a separate YouTube channel for Stormgate that I'm starting up for a very specific reason for the algorithm issues, and I've got a game plan for that. I'm really excited about Stormgate. Obviously, Age of Empires, special place in my heart. I've been playing a lot of 1v1s recently. Haven't been progressing as much as I would have liked to have. Hope you guys are having fun on the ladder. Yeah, tech stuff happens, I'm not sure. So I recently updated OBS to the new version, and then it's just clearly done something. I think it's every time I change switch scenes, it just mutes, but I have to kind of pay close attention to that, I suppose. And yeah, I'll be casting more Road to Red Bull Wololo Legacy as usual. Oh, by the way, so you may have noticed I casted the two semi-finals, one yesterday, one today. Tomorrow will be the grand finals between Marine Lord and I forget who it was now. The Muslim. It was Marine Lord versus the Muslim. That'll be released tomorrow as usual at 16 BST, which is 13 GMT. And if you're looking forward to that, hope you are. I certainly am. And hopefully I can do more live streams like this. I've definitely enjoyed hanging out with you guys. So hope you guys all have a good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. And I hope to see you guys soon. All right, all the best. Take care, guys, and see you next time.